I haven't seen you since the plague.
Yahoo!
Make the Green Lantern fight Captain Marvel. If you really want it, do it. You know, like, it doesn't matter.
Marvel's gonna drag that ass. But go ahead.
What'd you just say, Caleb?
I said Captain Marvel's gonna drag that ass, but
No,
that's fine.
truly.
Oh,
truly.
yeah,
Green
there's
Lantern
no
is
fucking...
weak sauce. Except I am enjoying Far Second
Unless Hal Jordan can adequately imagine something that keeps him from dying, he's going to die.
Yeah.
If we're gonna have Captain Marvel fight a Green Lantern, I want it to be Guy Gardner, the motherfucker with a ginger bowl cut, just the biggest piece of shit in the whole universe. He rules. He's the best guy. I love him so much. This absolute piece of shit.
No, and
I just want,
so we can get Idris Elba in a black and green superhero suit.
Oh,
I mean, that sounds cool. I'm speaking specifically in the context of the tar getting whipped out of a man. I'm talking in terms of just watching a man get his ass beat, and it should be played by fucking Paul Dano, and just the absolute tar beat out of this asshole all across the galaxy. He's ping-ponging off of planets. He's just fucking woo. That is the movie that I would like to see.
100%.
Okay,
So
did we miss Chef Talk? Is there still time
we
for
got
Chef
it.
Talk?
We should do a little bit of Chef Talk, and then we can get into what this show is actually about.
Just a little bit of Chef Talk.
It only makes sense that we've spent an hour talking about other things while we're trying to get back from our hiatus.
Only 37 minutes. Only 37. We
So,
still have 23 minutes to talk about shit.
And I'm gonna cut out a lot of 15-ish minutes of just Marvel talk at the front, because
that's just
I must keep that to a
I was
tepid
worried what
volume.
this podcast would be about after Community was finished, and now I realize I have nothing to worry about. Please go.
It could be about anything.
It could be literally about
anything.
Literally about anything. So the only... it has been almost 13 years since the original Iron Man, and the only Jon Favreau directorial effort that is not owned by the Walt Disney Corporation in those intervening 13 years. Because you got Iron Man, you got Iron Man 2, you got The Jungle Book, you got The Lion King, you got some Mando in there. The only piece that he has produced in the last 13 years that is not owned by Disney is a modestly budgeted 2014 food-based dramedy called Chef, wherein Jon Favreau plays the titular chef in the movie Chef. It is
he's a dad chef.
Hey, he did Cowboys.
He's a dad
he did
chef?
Cowboys and Aliens.
He did Cowboys and Aliens?
Yeah.
Wait, what? I forgot that movie existed.
He directed Cowboys
Cowboys and Aliens, yes.
And that was after Iron Man 1?
Iron Man was 2008, Iron Man 2 was 2010, Cowboys and Aliens was 2011.
So was that, did someone
no wonder
him
he
an inordinate
crawled
amount of
back
money
to
and
the
he was
mouse.
Like, I mean, shit, why not? Or did he really want to make a Cowboys versus Aliens movie? Because that's just confusing to me.
I think it's based off of a book, so...
It's a comic book, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And he got the
anyway.
opportunity to
You're
Harrison
gonna comic book
Ford and
movies,
Daniel
how was with this one?
Yeah.
No wonder he went crawling back to the mouse. But he... So he makes
Hey,
Chef,
Paul Dano's
which
in that
is in Cowboys and Aliens.
Yeah, he is.
God, I hope Daniel Craig just whips the fucking tar out of him.
I would be
at
okay
some
if
point.
Clancy Brown beats the shit out of him.
I've
Or
never
Harrison
thought of
Ford,
watching that
or could be anybody.
Harrison Ford's good.
But
punch
anyway,
people. I like him.
I love Paul Dano. I want that on the record. But it's just so satisfying to watch him just get the fucking
He's
tar
so
whipped.
punchable.
Like in There Will Be Blood, where Daniel Day-Lewis is just dragging him through oil and just smearing his fucking face in it. You're like, yeah, yeah, get him. Yeah.
This is very good.
Yes, this is what I like to see. Great movie. Yeah. On many levels, but on a Paul Dano getting the shit beat out of him level, excellent.
But Chef.
Chef.
But Chef.
A movie that is the most self-referential movie that I have ever seen. And I have seen almost every Kevin Smith movie. I've seen Fellini's 8.5. I've seen many Orson Welles pictures, and this is the most self-referential movie I have ever seen. It's hilarious, the degree to which this movie is Jon Favreau making a movie about Jon Favreau. It's fucking exquisite.
Yeah, it's
So
very
wild.
good.
When I watched it, I didn't catch any of that simply because I knew who Jon Favreau was vaguely, but I didn't really know him or his work. Like, I didn't know his background. I just came into this movie as someone who loves food and has worked around food and has people in the food industry as some of my closest friends. I was like, this is a great movie about food. This is really fun. This is really endearing. It gets me jazzed about food in a really cool way. And then when Kevin, the first time I heard you talking about it, you were like, just change anytime they say food to movies, and you've got a different.
And it's about Jon Favreau, right? Because Jon Favreau plays a chef whose name is inconsequential. His name is Jon Favreau Chef, and Jon Favreau was a hotshot indie chef who made a big splash with some of his food in the 90s. He then sold out to a restaurant to have a steady food gig that he wants to break out of desperately, despite how secure it is. And he goes off and makes his indie food featuring all of his famous friends. That one I didn't have an analog for. It just stars a lot of his famous friends, including the plot that his ex-wife is Sofia Vergara and he's a fucking Scarlett Johansson. If you needed anything else to tell you that this movie is the greatest masturbation session in the history of cinema, it is that Jon Favreau.
Kev, back up.
And I like it. It's a good movie.
Caleb,
I enjoy it.
Counterpoint,
Hold on.
Caleb, coming in hot.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt made Don John. And if you want to say that Chef is the biggest masturbatory directorial, Joseph Gordon-Levitt did that for his debut. And he doesn't fuck Scarlett Johansson. He's so bad at it, he has to get taught by an older and hotter fucking
Julianne Moore.
Julianne Moore. Exactly.
But that is not as masturbational, because that movie is about how Joseph Gordon-Levitt cannot stop jerking off long enough to fuck Scarlett Johansson good. So it's an interesting piece.
I can't believe that movie was ever fucking made. I've never seen it. I've heard of it. I've seen clips, and every time I see this, I'm like, who fucking greenlit this piece of monstrosity?
My money, my girls, my car, my gym, my boys, my porn, my money, my job. That's how all the
Joseph
trailers
Gordon-Levitt did, Jace, because he fucking loaded because he was in Third Rock from the Sun.
Disgusting. I mean, but here's the thing: when it comes to Chef, though, it's really funny
massive
that
Nolans.
You look at the movies that Jon Favreau has made, like you said, Kevin. He really didn't do much of anything, but I feel like he went. He made Chef, and he was like, I can die happy. I can go back to the mouse now and just do whatever. Because I made Chef,
my little chef picture.
Well, so there's a couple of interesting things. There's a couple of interesting things that are buried in that movie that are also not just him making his thing and being like, oh, finally. It's also he's I think he's aware that he's aware he's making a movie that's an allegory to his life, but he's also aware that by the end of that movie, there's a moment where they realize this is just kind of the thing, and it's not going to make a ton of money. It's going to make some money. It's going to be hard work forever, and then the critic who panned him, who is the allegory for the thing that made him the most angry about being big budget, comes back and goes, I don't want to tell you what to do anymore. I want to put my money behind you and let you go. And then the Jon Favreau that's the result of that in Chef makes a restaurant that's obviously wildly popular, and he's happy. The Jon Favreau that is the result of that in the real world is the Jon Favreau that said, cool, let me make Star Wars for you. And they went, okay, and he's been shouldering that burden perfectly for the last 4 years.
The food critic who was like, I backed you in the 90s, the food 90s, and you've disappointed me with your film, Iron Man 2. I mean, your current menu. You've disappointed me. But I'm going to show up at your food truck and bankroll a new restaurant because that's how much you mean to me. A food critic. This is the greatest film of all time. Chef rules.
Chef fucking rules. I love. Okay, so my favorite movies are weird because they're like mostly either legitimate, like basically non-fic biopics, or this. Like Social Network is up there because fucking
Again,
Sorkin,
take a drink. Audience, take a drink.
Take a drink.
Yeah.
Caleb mentioned a Sorkin, so take a drink.
Fincher and Sorkin work for me, but also like there was a moment the first time I watched Chef where I was like, something's got to go wrong because that's how movies work, and I realized like 20 minutes later, like, oh no, this movie's
It's
gonna
not
make you
gonna go
feel
wrong.
good as fuck the whole time, and it rocks. I love it. 100%.
It's really lovely. It's great, and it also I just love the way that they talk about food. And I know that, Kevin, you're saying it's a heavy-handed metaphor for movies, but literally going in without that lens, it
For
reads. Sure. It's the reason why it works is because the metaphor works so well. It's because you can
yeah.
look at it. And
I love
It's also
kitchen
because it's
stuff.
not. It's also because it's not just a metaphor. Like all of the opening shots and any shots you see of like Jon Favreau cutting really fucking fast, and you're like, that's a hand model. Obviously, it's not. It's him. He learned all that shit.
Trained
Because
hard.
like
Exactly.
because like it's partially metaphor, but also Jon Favreau really fucking likes food. And if you haven't, do yourself a favor and watch the Chef Show on Netflix. It's just him making food with his buddy, the guy who trained him how to cook better.
And he brings his famous friends to
And he
taste
brings
the
it.
food.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. You can tell
The
Jon
food of
Favreau's
Chef.
in this groove in life where he's like, I'm making Star Wars and no one's telling me what to do because they're afraid if they do, they'll fuck it up. And I'm making food with my friends, and I'm inviting my friends to eat food that I make with my friends.
Dude, what a
And I'm
life, right? You know, like just living like that. Wow, what a life.
Yeah. Hi. Good
Kevin's
day.
like, why did you just move to Australia?
no idea.
Good day,
yeah.
mate. But it sounds good. Right. If this movie were about like a director, it would be the most insufferable movie of all time. But they made it food and they lean into the food part, right? And so I love kitchen stuff. I think cinema does kitchen stuff really cool. You know, like Big Night, or like Bradley Cooper was on that show where he played Anthony Bourdain,
Dude, this
Kitchen
is so
Confidential.
funny. Literally the way, because also, I mean, I can't, we can't bring up Chef without me thinking of Babish on YouTube, right? The Babish universe, and which is so funny because like that's exactly. I mean, he literally had Jon Favreau on his show, and he like has like a tattoo,
Right.
like he literally has the fork, the two-pronged fork that they used in the movie. He owns it. Jon Favreau gave it to him. Like
That rules.
It's so cool, but like, just, yeah, I think what you're speaking on is so wild because like the role of food in movies is so massive, and like food photography and food film is such a big deal. It's such a specific thing that it's a really exciting crossover.
Fuck me for not realizing Kitchen Confidential is just the name of an Anthony Bourdain book, and that
Of
was
an Anthony Bourdain book.
fuck. I need to rewatch
Yeah,
that. 'Cause
and Bradley
Bourdain
Cooper
fucking
played-
rules.
Dude, Bourdain is
Anthony
the
Bourdain.
fucking guy.
Yeah, he was.
That's
he's
the
what a
dude.
fucking.
He's
Yeah,
like,
that's a
I
fucking
want
guy.
people to be less afraid of other people, so food. And it's just like,
Ah, you got me. That is. I do like food.
Damn, it worked. and then
everybody
Bradley
did
Cooper
shit.
played another chef later in Burnt,
Uh,
which that
Oh,
movie's,
yeah.
that movie's average as
You-
fuck, but it's got
you can't prove to me that Burnt is a movie that exists. You can't prove
it's
that.
got it's got
That's
Daniel
a,
Bruhl in it. It's got
Whatever.
Daniel Bruhl in it, so it's perfect. It's
I don't
a
know.
lot of movies have Daniel Bruhl. You can't prove that.
Okie dokie.
So anyway, Chef's cool. The only there's one misstep in the movie that I mean, okay, you know, Chef, a gentleman's 6.5, 7 out of 10, just like the nicest little movie you've ever seen. But because I ended up watching it in 2 chunks, I essentially had like one day I watched 1 hour, and then the next day we watched the second hour. And there was this idea in the first hour of the movie, because Sofia Vergara is on such good terms with her ex-husband, Jon Favreau, and they like share custody. They divorced, it didn't work out, but they have such a nice relationship. And then Jon Favreau goes to go visit Robert Downey Jr., who is Sofia Vergara's other ex that she's also on good terms with. And I was like, what a fascinating character. This character who just like is on great terms with all of their exes. Like, it didn't work out, but just, like, she maintains these relationships. What, like, an interesting character. And then in the second half of the movie, no, she gets back with Jon Favreau, which was, like, fine, but after sitting with it for a day, I was like, I've never seen a character like this before.
Is that a
this,
bad
like,
ending?
Non-contentious divorce.
I think it's
not
I
a
think
bad
that's-
ending.
No, I think that's what happens when celebrities write about their relationships. Because celebrity relationships are all fucking weird. And like, okay, yeah.
Right, Demi Moore and Bruce Willis broke up, but she's hanging out with Ashton Kutcher, and they're all three on a boat together,
Meanwhile,
just the three of them.
I didn't realize that Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis are together again, but like for real, for real.
Oh, are
Right.
they? I don't know.
They made
According to the
freaking
Super Bowl ad, they are.
no, but apparently that's like been a thing for a minute. Like
Yeah,
they're
sure,
together.
That sounds nice.
Just wild, just wild.
Good for them.
Yeah, and Khal Drogo, Jason Momoa, is married to
Lisa Bonet.
Lisa Bonet, which makes no fucking sense.
Makes perfect sense to me, dog. Have you seen them?
What's the name? Who was Lisa Bonet married to before? Lenny Kravitz.
Oh.
Lenny Kravitz's ex. And apparently, Lenny and Lisa and Jason Momoa hang out all the time too. So like,
That sounds great.
Chef is just how celebrities have relationships. It's
Yeah,
like,
I
you want to
guess
fuck
so.
for a couple of years? Cool, we'll fuck for a couple of years. Do you want to fuck my friend for a couple of years? We'll all hang out together. It'll be fine.
Y'all
Don't
have clearly not spent that much time with actors, have you?
No, that's a good point too.
Not in a minute.
I mean, this does. The more you talk about this, I'm like, oh, I know these people. I know these people.
You know Lisa
It's why,
Bonet?
it's why when Will Smith was like, yeah, me and Margot Robbie had a thing after Jada Pinkett was like, me and this dude had a thing. And people were like, they're going to divorce. I was like, no, they won't.
No, they're not.
It's just normal shit. It's just, remember that one time we were away from each other for a really long time? Yeah, we fucked. Cool.
Yeah, I was about to say, it was like, oh, Will Smith and Margot Robbie hung out for 5 months.
And didn't?
I mean-
You want to tell me they didn't
And,
fuck?
right. But okay, here's how fucked up my brain is. I was like, right, during the production of Focus, the movie starring Will Smith and Margot Robbie,
No,
not
I immediately went
Suicide
Suicide
Squad. That is
No,
not
they-
where my brain went
They
first.
fucked during Suicide Squad because nothing else interesting was happening.
Well, also,
Sure. I mean,
look at
if
their
we're talking
costumes.
Suicide Squad, we're talking like 13 months between the 2 times they shot Suicide Squad, right? The like
Oh my God.
when they started over from the beginning.
Well, it didn't
yeah.
help.
No, it didn't help.
Also,
but I am
going
interested
in-
in the Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
I am
I
actually
am as
looking
well.
forward to that one. I'm sure I'll get burned yet again, but I am looking forward to these.
It's James Gunn.
It's James
I'm
Gunn.
hoping it'll be
fine.
better.
It'll be
I'm
fine.
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Also,
James
the
Gunn
last
makes
thing,
good movies so far 100% of the time.
Yeah, so far he's perfect.
Inaccuracy, but I mean, Warner it's a little cursed.
There's still time.
Hopefully, Warner Brothers learned their lesson and went, "Oh, maybe we don't know what's best."
Yeah,
but
maybe
that
we
sounds
stack
wildly out of
what
character.
directors want to do. Just a
I would
Release
say
the gun cut.
I would say that would I would
Release the
believe
gun
exactly
cut.
exactly. I would say
I'm
I
starting that
believe what I
campaign now
just
before the
said.
movies even come out.
I would say
I'm
I
sorry.
believe what I just said, except I do know that they let Zack Snyder convince them to make a 4-hour director's cut of a movie that was bad. So like,
They've shot that movie 3 times, and not one of them will be good. They've
No.
made that whole ass movie 3 times, and not a one is good.
I'd also
Not
like to
just-
say, Zack Snyder did not convince Warner Brothers to do it. The fans did. We are in a very
A bunch
strange
of
time of fan
cretins.
service central, which not to segue into the actual topic of discussion, but what I've realized
It's a pretty good segue, I would say,
is
actually.
the amount of fan service that they just launch at you to get season 4 started off of Community is pretty impressive.
It's a
I don't know,
frankly
impressive-
fascinating topic of conversation. And
Impressive, by the way, I don't mean as positive or negative. I mean it objectively impressive. Like, it's like, oh,
It's-
you did a lot
it's-
of that.
it's so impressive, it's oppressive. And we will, because this is, of course,
wait.
advanced community studies. Nope. Okay.
Not yet.
The
Apparently not.
last thing I'll say about Chef.
It is,
It
it
also
is still
has-
chef talk.
It also has going for it America's favorite uncle, John Leguizamo. Go on.
I was going to say Bobby Cannavale, but I think both qualify. Anyway, this is, of course, Advanced Community Studies, a podcast where we take a look at the American television comedy Community, 1 or 2 episodes at a time. We are also the premier podcast of the Yahoo Screen Podcasting Network.
Wow, that's been a minute.
It's been like 5 weeks. I literally don't even remember how to do this. But I am one of your hosts, TV's Kevin Lanigan. Yes, my name is Kevin, and I have Changnesia.
Oh my god. Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing? My name is Jace. I use they, them pronouns. And you know what? I'm fine. F-Y-N-E. I'm fine.
And I'm the daddy host, who's a daddy once more, with a cute 1-month-old sack of skin and bones. And when he pukes on me, I say, "No sweat, Boba Fett."
That was really fun.
That is adorable. Yes, everyone, welcome back to our regularly scheduled community coverage. I think we are cruising right here through the last 3 seasons of Community. No stoppage in sight. And let's before we get into the episodes proper, I want to talk a little bit with y'all about just like what the journey we're about to go on, right? Like a season 4 primer, if you will.
Yeah.
Okay. So the for anyone who has listened to this much of a Community podcast and doesn't know somehow, after season 3, Sony fires Dan Harmon, the creator and showrunner of Community and Rick and Morty, script doctor on Doctor Strange, etc., etc. And so he is fired, and they bring in 2 guys, David Goraschio and Moses Port, who at the time were writers and producers on the show Happy Endings, which is a good little show. It's on Hulu if you want to check it out. And they also had done a CW show in the early days of the CW called Aliens in America. So they bring
CW. I didn't even remember that. Wow.
When the WB transforms into the CW, and it's like they haven't figured out that they are DC Comics, the television network. So they were like trying to make other shows with other kinds of premises.
For Archie Comics.
Right, exactly.
Isn't this when they were still figuring out that they weren't freeform anymore?
I mean, somewhere along the road, we got Jane the Virgin, which is exceptional. But like
Jane the Virgin, great show. Crazy Ex-Girlfriend,
great show.
Great show.
But like, just outline.
It debuted with a show that I like, and I'm the only person that remembers it, called Reaper. About the son of the devil, and season 2 featured actual cannibal Armie Hammer as a different son of the devil.
You say
the devil's
cannibal. Hold on.
Are you not caught up, Caleb?
No, obviously not.
We can't do this now. Caleb, go on Twitter.
No. Yeah, I'm sorry. You do that research off mic. We simply cannot.
This is not something you should bring to the podcast realm. That's a
Caleb, I need you to close those tabs.
Podcast.
Close those tabs.
I'm doing it right now. Get the fuck out of here.
Okay. Well, anyway, so season 4 of Community had a different people running it, but there were common writers, right? Like Megan Gans stuck around, Andy Bobrow stuck around, Tristram Shapiro takes over for the Russo brothers as the primary director. He directs most of season 4 and most of season 5 as well. Sorry, I burped. And this season, colloquially referred to as the gas leak year, which is coined in the season 5 premiere, is Dan Harmon, of course, comes back for season 5 after the response to season 4, and after Joel McHale goes to NBC and says, "Put him back, hire him again."
I mean, honestly, gas leak as a term is probably simultaneously the laziest, easiest, and best retcon I've ever heard in my life.
Right, and that it's not as if they keep nothing from this season, right? Because like they keep Brie Larson, they keep Amy becoming a forensics major, they keep Britta's glasses, they keep several Pierce graduates. Like there are elements that they keep. And I actually don't think they overtly throw out anything
Can I
to
tell
my
you-
recollection.
Can I tell you, not to get too far ahead of myself, can I tell you that since we did go on a little Witcher break before returning, when we came back and the first thought I had upon rewatching season 4, episode 1 is, wait, Pierce isn't fucking dead yet?
Right. But this dude ain't masturbated himself to death yet.
Oh my god.
Amanda was like, my
that's-
wife was like, did they replace Chevy Chase? And I was like, no.
Just
No.
hold tight. Yeah, the second thought I had was, oof, laugh track.
Yeah. And hey, listen, there are great shows that have used a laugh track, but this is a corny ass laugh track.
That's a
I think
hard
intentionally
entry
so.
to just like introduce it with that meta reality. It's tricky. Cuz
It's bold.
It's bold.
It's a bold swing to come out
you
of the
just
gate.
know
with
something's
this.
off because all of a sudden, like, aesthetically too, it looks like you're watching like Big Bang Theory, and you're like, what happened?
Wait a minute. The study group does not stand in this out-facing line in the study. Like, this is not how this goes. It's like your brain says it's wrong. And there had also been on NBC around this time, there had been a show that had been a multicam that had turned into a single cam laugh track show and legitimately had kept that structure.
What
So
show
it
did
almost
that?
seemed it was called Up All Night. Will Arnett and Christina Applegate were raising babies, and Maya Rudolph was the talk show host that Christina Applegate worked for. The joke was that Will Arnett was the stay-at-home dad, and Christina Applegate had kept her job.
Why is
and
that
show,
funny? I don't understand.
Listen, it's not. But
why they
that
went to
show
one
had been
camera?
a multicam that then turned into a Big Bang Theory type show with like a laugh track and a fake set and all that shit.
Oh my God.
So it almost seemed like a possible scenario. It almost seemed like something that could happen, right? So they come out of the gate, and some people like to say that this whole season is bad. Throw it in a trash can.
I actually disagree.
I also disagree. I mean, okay, it is the worst season of Community.
Right, but
And I
then
don't
also,
think there's
as
any...
we've said many times before, the worst episodes of Community are still episodes of Community. Like, there's still
Right,
something...
so I'm like, I don't know, Donald Glover's still here, you know?
I literally, it's so wild because I'm watching these episodes, I'm going through it, and y'all already know that I am obsessed with Donald Glover and Danny Pudi, but like literally being like, I'm laughing just as hard as Donald Glover delivering his lines in these episodes as I do in some of the other episodes. Maybe not like continual laughter from like joke after joke after joke because it's just set up brilliantly, but like the stuff they give him is working. You can tell it's a slightly quippier vibe. It
has a different rhythm.
It's a different rhythm. It's like someone trying just a little bit too hard to get the same results. It doesn't feel laid back, which is how most other seasons feel.
The one criticism you can't throw against it is that they didn't try. Right? I think
they did a damn good job, honestly.
Episode, they are trying. And they are trying to make this appeal of, like, it's still the show. We get it. We're gonna try and make the show that you like. We're not throwing it all out, right? And I'm like, okay, you know, Jim Rash is still here. Donald, Danny, Gillian, Allison, they're all still funny. They're funny people. I like watching them on the TV. Yvette, they're funny people, and I like them on the TV show.
It's hard to mess up with this cast. I think that's like the golden takeaway is this cast is just so damn good at what they do that like there's wiggle room and it's still really solid. I mean, Jim Rash has exceptional bits in these first episodes.
Absolutely.
He's not really in the second one, but like in this first episode there's some bits that he has that are just money, and it's like, wow.
It's still Jim. And anyway, just as like a primer before we talk about the gas leak year, I don't want this to be 7 weeks of us just like hitting someone while they're down. You know, hitting this show that we love while it's in a bad spot. Because it's much more interesting to dissect, here's what works, here's what doesn't, here's where I could like see where this idea is coming from, even if I don't agree with its execution. Like here are the laid out pieces, and it's much more fun to dissect it as a cultural work instead of just talking about a bad show and going ha 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 so bad.
Do y'all want to hear something kind of wild? So,
Hit it.
believe it or not, yeah, that was a wild sound. Believe it or not, season. Yeah, you're welcome. Believe it or not, season 4, episode 2, is the first bit of Community. I didn't watch the whole episode. There was a clip of it that was on somewhere, and I know exactly what moment it was. That made me go, wait, I want to watch this show.
Was it Things?
No, but Things is one of the greatest.
Things is good.
Things is so. I literally wrote it down
Things
in my
is
notes.
very good.
We do some things. Lots
What?
of things.
Lots of things.
Not all the things. Things.
Things.
It's so good.
It's so
Sorry, Jace,
good.
go on.
No,
Go on.
But literally, the moment where it's in, which by the way, also those costumes, the Calvin and Hobbes costume, it just brings me so much fucking joy.
Pretty cute.
But it's literally when Abed is in the control room for the security room, and is watching Jeff and Britta talking about Jeff's daddy issues, and he just kind of he doesn't even break camera. It's just I remember seeing him go, I remember when this show was about a community college.
Yeah.
And I remember watching that happen, seeing that tiny clip, and then going, I have to watch this show. That's what did it for me, which is so bizarre because, like, I mean, it's especially for a season that's infamously like the one that like people feel the most complicated about. But genuinely, like, watching these episodes right before we came on here as like just another rewatch to freshen up, like, I found there were numerous times I was like, that's actually a great bit. That's a great bit. That was really funny. Like, I found myself being able to go, oh, this definitely feels different, but I'm still thoroughly enjoying myself while watching this.
The Halloween episode is maybe the best episode of the whole season. I think it's legitimately just very good and
that's also
funny.
Very likely. There's a couple jokes specifically from
It's not a
Jeff.
very high bar.
Well, you know.
It's a medium bar.
It's a medium
right?
bar.
Because there are it's the body
It's a
swap
medium
episode, the Thanksgiving episode, there's a few others. Oh, Herstory of Dance. There's a few that I'm like, these are good and solid, and I like these quite a bit.
I think for me, where you can tell, and just in general, this goes for so far with these first 2 episodes, the clearest difference is actually how Jeff talks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
it's
Jeff is such
it's pretty
a
jarring.
Jeff is such a Harmon analog.
Yes,
Jeff is
exactly.
the Harmon character,
and so you've got
right?
all these other
and
characters
like
that know their roles so well that probably are able to play with their dialogue a little bit and just bring what they're familiar with to the characters and make it work like they fit. There's a couple bits that you're like, this is like a slightly different tone, but it just feels like it's slightly different. But Jeff genuinely sounds like a different person. Like, there's a flow to it. Meanwhile, at the same time, you get a great line, not to skip to episode 2, but like, "Aw, Pierce, nobody's going to call you. Oh, nobody's going to call you, Pierce." And it just, I mean, I'm like, it's one of those things where it's like, not funny, but really fucking clever. You know,
classic winger, put the notch on the table,
yeah,
you know?
scritchy, yeah.
Notches.
Anyway, Daddy Host has returned from his cannibal hole. And
It's funny because I recently suggested Armie Hammer to play Scott Summers.
What, is Scott Summers a cannibal? Why is that funny?
No, I didn't know about
but
that.
pre-cannibal.
Oh, gotcha.
Pre-cannibal, I was like, he'd
Pre-cannibal.
be a really good Cyclops.
They're not casting.
Yeah, I agree. It's not bad.
I mean, we can't get into this. I have no idea who I would cast as Cyclops because I just like.
Did you say Henry Cavill, you absolute
Cyclops
shill?
is tough. Cyclops is tough. Armie Hammer's, I mean, despite, eating human beings, is a little too charismatic.
Or Alden Ehrenreich, the guy that played Han Solo in Solo.
Yeah, no, that one.
That's
You
a
nailed
good.
it.
That's a good aesthetic
yeah,
choice,
Ehrenreich,
for sure.
great.
the guy from Hail Caesar. Yes, correct. Alden Ehrenreich. I like it. But anyway, shall we get into the episodes proper for this evening?
Yes.
With Season 4, Episode 1, History 101, directed by Tristram Shapiro, written by Andy Bobrow. In this episode, Jeff reveals that he only needs one more credit to graduate, but the history class that they need to get into is full up, so Dean Craig Pelton begins the Hunger Deans, a competition to complete for class registry. Just to kick off this discussion, yikers.
It just feels like, for these first 2 episodes, it just feels like the people that were writing were like, well, shit, we don't have Dan. What are the things that, like, were tweeted the most? And we'll go with that. Like, Pierce's humor is only balls. It's like, that's it.
Right.
The whole episode.
Right, and backstage knowledge tells me that Chevy actually, that was the last thing they did. They weren't planning on putting Pierce in the episode beyond, like, his one scene earlier, and then they're like, oh, we don't have Jeff collecting the balls, so let's bring in Chevy and come up with, like, a joke, like a running bit that he can do. Sure. And the answer is gay balls. But anyway, you had a second thing.
Yeah, the second one was that, like, the Dean juxtaposes his name into things like Chang does, like, way too much. It feels forced. It feels like, okay.
It's fan service. They leaned into what they knew people liked to just a very large extent. They were like, because I think the other thing is, when you're coming into these characters and they're not characters that you've been creating, right? That you've been a part of for now 3 seasons of successful TV, you have to then go, okay, what are the things we can quickly grab onto with these characters that will make the audience go, this is still that same character? And so they leaned really hard into bits versus character. Because they were like, it's a funny show. They've got bits. These are the bits that they do. That's why literally the first thing Troy and Abed do is they say, was it Troy and Abed? What do they say? They come in and they say,
Troy and Abed back from summer, I think.
Yeah, Troy and Abed back from summer.
It's just like, okay, great, we know what's happening, you know? But it's, so on the one hand, it's like smart on them, right? To kind of get back into it. At the same time, we can tell it feels like fan service.
It feels, the word I'm going to use is try hard. This feels like someone that desperately wants you to like them, something I have no experience with, and
I was like,
and it feels like see, we know, and they put in like every running joke. They put in like so much meta, and the tryhardiest aspect of it to me is honestly the Hunger Deans itself, because Community generally does not do super topical references. Right. It's not Family Guy, right? Like, the closest we get is Abed dressing as Batman 1 year after The Dark Knight comes out. But they're writing.
They're
this
usually
in late
throwaway jokes that Jeff has that have more to do with like pop culture people than they do with pop culture.
Throwaway joke, right? But it's like, okay, season 2 we had a Secret Garden episode. Like, it's never the up to the minute. We had old-fashioned claymation Christmas specials. Like, it was always
classics. Star Wars.
Things we had done, Westerns as a concept. Yeah. Like, things that are tried and true and done. This feels like SNL, where it's like, what's out this week? Hunger Games. All right, we need to do a Hunger Games bit.
It's right? Like, could you imagine... Actually, maybe I could. But when you think of like Rick and Morty, most of the stuff that the shows that they riff off of or refer to in Rick and Morty are like movies that are at least a few years old that, like, if you refer to them, it's because there's a cultural place for them. It would be like watching an episode of Rick and Morty where they're like, and now we're going to do Tenet. And you'd be like, what?
What? Why is Rick and Morty doing
fresh.
Tenet? Is it just because Tenet just came out?
Yeah, like, why would they refer to that? They're doing Jurassic Park and Garfield. Like...
Right. Community will do, like, a Waterworld homage. We'll do an homage to The Sting. You know, that's where we're
Seven at. Later on.
Right, exactly. Like, classic Fincher. Mm-hmm. And the Hunger Games thing just feels so... Look at me, look at me, look at me. It's topical. Also, Jeff punches Leonard right in the fucking face. Like,
they make a joke about the flood later.
Punches an 80-year-old man in the face. face.
Also, the
And
Annie
that-
Kim reference feels forced. It's like it makes no sense to have her there for like 1 second. But they were
Right,
like,
it's
but
like-
Annie Kim, it'll be another thing for people to hold on to. So let's have Jeff rip her off of a
Weird.
thing that he could clearly outclimb her anyway for. It just
Right. And it's bold to open up the show with this like fake laugh track sitcom. That's a bold move.
I do like that
to,
they
like-
have a recast Pierce that really makes you go, wait, what the fuck is happening?
with Fred Willard, who like is one of the funniest people of all time,
He's great.
who was up for the running for Pierce originally. Like he was one of the original ideas
Wow.
that they had, but Fred Willard comes in with some big Evan Peters as Pietro energy here, and we devote so much of this opening time to this glasses bit that just like is a bad bit.
That's another
like-
one of those moments where it's just super uncomfortably relevant to right now. Like, that was the time where everybody was taking their 3D glasses and popping out the lenses and wearing them around. This was like a high school thing. This was like the kids are like on Tumblr and being doofuses, right? And they decided, let's make this joke right now. And it does not hold up.
No,
Because
to the
it's
point where I was
super-
like,
yeah.
what even is the joke? I hadn't even considered the hipster.
I
like,
clocked
three-
it immediately because that was something that I was like in the thick of. Like when I was in high school, it was like everybody was doing that for like a summer. It was one of those stupid things. I literally, I got when I was to go on a slight tangent. I was the captain of my drumline in high school, and I had
Hell yeah.
the snare line. I had all of them as a joke. Wear those glasses in the stands, and we got yelled at by the band director. But I was a little shit, and I didn't like him. So what I did was I actually took everybody's glasses and I put them on the snare drums so that the drum themselves were wearing these stupid glasses, and he didn't know for like a week. It was hysterical. I remember that happening, but it's a very, very niche pocket in time where that's a relevant joke. And looking back at it now, I'm like, nobody would. What? What?
Yeah, and when it becomes the Greendale Babies riff,
Ooh.
which is like a Muppet Babies joke, which like, okay, that's not topical, I'll give you that. But then it becomes like, okay, you did the Inception bit the exact wrong number of times.
Yeah.
Either the whole Abed TV should have been the fake sitcom, and we really should have been like, we're gonna focus on Fred Willard Pierce in relation to Abed in the fake sitcom.
Or they should have done it an additional time.
Or they should have done it one or two more times,
Yeah,
right? Like the Dreamatorium episode,
Really
where it's
get
like
him
we're going
stuck
into
in.
this, then we're
Yeah.
going into this, and it's the exact wrong number of times, so it has no
Since
Inception
when does
style
comedy exist
payoff.
in twos? Never.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's the exact wrong number of times, and it doesn't land. It's also like the all-time worst winger speech. It's just like a winger speech with no energy, no
Because
gumption.
they've
no...
also got it existing within these like lenses. It's like
And you can do that. They did it in the fake flashback episode, right? You can have it be piecemeal.
But in the fake flashback, it's still him as Jeff Winger, right? In this one, it's Jeff Winger as a baby, and then Jeff Winger as a sitcom character, and then it goes to Jeff Winger, and he's like, "I literally didn't say anything," right? But like,
right,
it's just,
it should be the fucking, because you're doing an Inception joke, right? So it should be the triumphant moment where the song is playing on all timelines and they all eject out of each thing, but it just.
Speaking also toward that whole idea of like they should have done it one more time, it feels like what they did was like, well, we're only going to do 2 layers so that the punchline, the big 3, is going to be Jeff saying, "I didn't say anything, I just got here." It super easily could have been baby speech, sitcom speech, and then like real-ish speech, right? And then have it end that way, and have some sort of like, have that be a kind of funny ending, and then have the subversion of the trope, and then have him say, "I didn't say anything." That would still be a positive use of the rule of 3, and just be different thing. The other missed opportunity for rule of 3 is, and I missed it because I just wanted more of them, was in the sitcom version they had those fake ads for other shows on the network, Those fake.
They did 2.
They only did
It's
2.
imagining.
They're great though. What was it? It was Troy and Abed as American sword cooks.
Sword cooks. Yeah.
Rules. Good.
Long blades. I was like, I'd watch that. And then there's blind / blonde, which is Britta and Annie, but
Great.
Annie is blind. and they're in
Good.
like scrubs or something. Which I mean, also, think about that. A hospital show with what you can only assume they were implying is an idiot and someone that's blind.
Sounds like a good show.
I would watch the hell out of that. I was waiting for a third one, and
it doesn't come.
Doesn't come until the bumpers.
And then they have this. The episode ends with this like Yvette bit. Poor Yvette. And
It's
you know,
so
a little
really
meta digging tells me that was supposed to be a runner throughout the episode, and all the setup got cut, so it's just the punchline.
Oh god, it's just
Jesus
also like,
Christ.
were they gonna have that be like a character bit in the meta reality thing that they were doing? And like,
Yeah, right. It was supposed to be in the sitcom reality. That was her like
catchphrase.
stereotypical catchphrase. But they cut every instance of it, so it's just a weird thing that happened.
Just that whole tag feels really weird to me. Like from like literally looking at that as from a gender perspective. We've got the classic '90s sitcom trope of, the 2 boys want to go to this thing, so we're gonna dress up as women and try to fit in. And they are naturally, of course, there's no suspicion whatever that they're men. Really weird area to look at from, especially the way that trans people have been represented in media. Like it's a really complicated topic of discussion.
Sure.
And so watching it, it's just like, okay, I see what you're doing. And then they have Britta and Dean being like, no, no, sir, not you, mister. And she's like, Dean, I'm Britta. And that whole thing, and then it's also just like, it's a very and then I remember watching it, I was like, why is he confused? And I'm like, is it because she's wearing a blazer?
He knows who Britta is.
He knows her. Intimate.
So fucking weird.
And Britta is a very feminine person. Like they're like
respects. I mean, but like, yeah, I mean,
sure.
There's very few things about the way Britta presents herself, even when she is wearing that suit top, that are not, to a certain extent, reliant on like hegemonic perspectives of gender roles. Like she walks in, you're like, it's fucking Britta. Her character is based on shitty feminism. Like it is directly linked to her being. And for Dean to just be like, no, not you, sir. It's like, is this some like backhanded, really shitty lesbian joke you're trying to make? It just made me ask a lot of questions, and not in the good way. You know what I mean? And then also, I can't help but feel like it just felt like reducing Yvette Nicole Brown to being, oh no. I was like, I don't care what anyone tells me.
So
this
painful.
feels racist.
It
feels
so painful.
I can't tell you.
I forgot. I blocked it from my memory. Like I was watching it. I watched them tonight right before we recorded, and it started to happen, and I was like, this seems offensive. And then like Britta walks up, and I'm like, this seems offensive. And then Shirley pops her head out, and I'm like, I hate this so much.
And then they do the
and I get that it's
zoom in circle from Looney Tunes, which is why?
Right. And I get that it's like, I get what we're playing off of shitty sitcom tropes, but if you don't invert the trope, you're just doing it.
It's one thing to be referential, it's another thing to make fun of the thing you're referring to. And if you don't
do anything to modify the trope, you're not being ironically
it's not satire.
Racist, you're just being racist.
Yeah.
And not that it's possible to be ironically racist, but you know what I mean. Like,
it's equivalent to having a friend who's really bad at making jokes, trying to make a racially borderline joke, and the whole time you're just like, you can't do this. You can't do this.
It's like when guys make quote-unquote jokes and tell the woman, like, go into the kitchen and make me a sandwich. But I'm like, you're not. You're just doing the sexist thing. It's
when married men are like, I love my wife so much that if I call her a bitch, people will know I'm joking. And it's like, that's not how that works.
Oh, I call my wife a bitch all the time, but she calls me a bitch all the time. It's our pet name for each other.
That's different. I'm talking about like older, like married white men who are like, they're like, their wife does something and they decide, oh, this will be a funny joke. I'm gonna make fun of sexist people by pretending to be angry and calling my wife a bitch. It's like it's not it's not far enough removed from what's actually happening for it to be a joke on what's actually happening.
Exactly.
You're still technically getting angry at your wife and calling her a bitch. Like, it doesn't make anyone comfortable.
Yeah, and then you just, oh, I was kidding. No, that's fucking, no, that's not how
not very funny. You should probably
that ain't how that
that.
do. That ain't how that go.
Don't get all bent out of shape. I'm just joking. Fuck off, nerd.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Although, okay, can I say standout joke of the entire episode? Mm-hmm. First off, thank God for Jim Rash, who is still very funny.
He's got the
in
best
this
jokes in this episode for sure.
Has the best jokes. The funniest thing in the fucking episode for me is after he says to Jeff that he smells like a movie theater floor, but not for the regular reasons. When he pulls his keys out of his pocket and there's this rain of movie theater popcorn.
So good.
Mwah.
I would say a close second is two.
It's pretty good.
So
it's one of those bits. It only works because it's Jim, but hey, whatever. It's Jim. Jim sells it to me.
Yep.
Jim put it in my Amazon cart and pressed order.
Can I give you my favorite? It's not actually a joke, but it made me laugh. Moment of the first episode. Well, first of all, I never realized that you can actually see the bite marks in the balls, which is really funny. In every shot of the balls, you can see them like subtly, like when it's in the cage, you can see the teeth, which is hilarious. Anyway, the thing that got me was there's this shot where Troy is like, here, I got this. Let me try and get all of it out of his head. So he's like, everybody hold hands. And he does that whole, like that whole face thing where he's like trying really hard. Then they do this shot from above of them all holding hands. And you know, someone, I think they went back and did that shot because it's very clear that someone forgot to put the red balls on the table because there's just 6 computer-generated red balls on the table.
Oh.
And you look at it, and it's like, why did you do that? You like,
whose idea was this?
Someone must have forgot to dress the set for like continuity or something, and they were like, "Yeah, we'll just fix it in post. We got to move on." But there's just they're fake balls. Scroll through. I don't know if you're looking through it right now, but scroll through. It's toward the end of the episode, and I literally went, "Those balls are fake. Why? They had the balls. Why are those balls fake?"
Why are those balls fake?
Why are those balls fake?
Gay balls.
Gay balls. Let's move on to the second episode, shall we? Season 4, episode 2. Paranormal Parentage, directed by, again, Tristram Shapiro, written by Megan Gans. Because this season was supposed to originally air in October 2012 and ended up in February 2013, this Halloween episode aired on Valentine's Day.
I love that.
And there's also this thing throughout this season where they have, like, the episodes are Firefly levels of out of order in their broadcast schedule. So there's, like, a bunch of shit that doesn't make sense from episode to episode, but it's whatever. It's fine. But they basically took every set of, like, 4 episodes and shook it up and seemingly dumped it out at random. But anyway, in this episode, it's Halloween, and they go to Pierce's very real-looking mansion and have a Clue/Scooby-Doo style journey around Pierce's mansion for reasons they're not like substantive enough that I like remember what they are. It's mostly just an excuse for these characters to hang out with no real like driving plot, which is fine.
It's what is it? It's Pierce is just like mad at them for not inviting him to a party that's not theirs to invite him to.
He's fake locked in a panic room, but we know it's fake locked right away.
But the rest of the crew's
no,
like, stop it, he's not lying. And then he's like,
so
I
there's
was
no
lying.
stakes? Like, there's no urgency? They just kind of leisurely walk from room to room? But whatever, there's a lot of funny jokes in this that made me laugh, so not too mad. Standout joke in this episode, for me, is when they discussed the date that Pierce built his panic room, and it was the theatrical release date of Do the Right Thing.
Troy's reaction is, oh.
which is one of my favorite Community jokes of all time. That is such a fucking good joke. Anyway,
is this
that's
also
all
this episode? Is this also a reference? I don't remember the name of the movie. I'm sure it's probably something like Panic or something, but it's literally about the people that are locked in the panic room, while there's the people that are the home intruders. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Panic Room? David Fincher's Panic Room?
Literally
with Jodie Foster?
More than it's that. That's the one. Yeah. Is this a reference to that? If it is, it's a very
maybe. It feels mostly like a Scooby-Doo or like a Clue, but maybe there's some Panic Room in there.
Like an issue I had with it is like it seemed like they were like, hey, let's make a reference to our Darkest Timeline episode as well as the Dungeons and Dragons episode, and like zoom back and look at them moving through a map when there was no reason for them to. They could have just as easily just jumped to a different part of the house.
The geography of the mansion is not important.
No.
So there was no
reason to do that. Pull
to
back.
See a map.
And the connection to a board game wasn't strong enough for that to have been there, if that's what they were going for. I didn't get
for it
that.
to be Clue-esque?
Maybe that's what they were going for. It was not a strong enough connection for me to make any sense of it. But I don't think that detracted from it. I did find it fun that we got a reference to the gnomes. Or the little trolls.
Yeah, the little
That was
gnomes.
a cute little thing, but it did also at the same time, while I did enjoy it, it also felt a little bit like we've mentioned, try hard, because they imply there's like one of them, there's like not a troll on. It's like there's like
where it's the one that would have been
the one that's
Remedial Chaos Theory,
right?
Yeah,
but in Remedial Chaos Theory, it almost seems like that's the only one, and he's giving it to Troy, because Troy was freaked out literally whenever he saw it. But like there's like 9 of them. There's like
and also in Remedial Chaos Theory, the troll that burns up is in a darkest timeline. What happens to the troll in our timeline?
Doesn't he keep it of some sort?
Doesn't he keep it and not give it to Troy? It's just like just off.
It's
you know
just
what I'm
off,
like you were just saying. It's like just.
It's one of those things that when you first see it, you're like, oh, that's a fun reference, and then if you think about it for more than 2 seconds, you go, oh, well, why did they?
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Hold on. But this one, I hate to be a parody of myself, but the standouts is the Britta Jeff pairing in this episode for me. I just think they're throwing classic barbs back and forth. Jeff telling her to can it ham, and
at the same time, this is also when I mostly realized how different Jeff sounded. Like, it's a very clearly the same dynamic, but you can tell he sounds different, specifically in this episode. I think it's also because, like, they're like, we're going to have him talk about his dad, and he goes on these diatribes, and it's like, but even those don't even feel that far off compared to his, like, sense of humor and his, like, snarkiness, just feel slightly more try-hard for a character that is, like, canonically too laid back, you know? Like, he doesn't try is his whole thing.
Yes.
So it's interesting. I don't know.
There's a couple moments. I think this is, you brought it up earlier, Jace, that this episode, like a moment of it was the first time you were like, I need to watch this show. The more I think about it, I've been in my head for a couple minutes, so I've been quiet. I think the first time I came across this show, I came across this episode too.
Yeah.
And I think it was like the head and the hands coming through the
that was another thing that stuck with me.
The wall, and like just the weird shit that was going on. I was like, maybe this show's like this. But it's weird because upon watching it tonight, the whole time I was just like, yeah, this stuff happens. And that was it.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have much attachment to it.
Yeah, I think for me, it was almost like, and specifically with the line, I remember when this show was about community college, it struck 2 things for me. One, I was like, oh, the show's meta. That's kind of fun. Maybe I should check that out. But then also, because of what they were saying, I literally went, wait, I need to know how they got there. Yeah. You know, something about that made me want to retroactively watch the previous seasons.
Sure. And there's a moment also where I guess it's in the wrap up of the episode, but there's a couple of things that just feel like this episode almost entirely forgets that like Gilbert and Pierce are already kind of on good terms. So there's not really.
Why did we need this episode to bridge their gap?
And there's a weird moment where
because there's no real conflict in the episode, so they needed something.
Right, Gilbert's not in the episode enough for this to be like a good follow-up to digital estate planning. It doesn't pay off in the right way. But there's enough, like, again, I mean, I guess it's just, like, there's enough funny stuff in the episode that I'm not... It's like when you get to, like, the lesser parts of 30 Rock, and you're like, I don't know, it's still 30 Rock, there's Jack, there's Kenneth, I like these guys, right. I'll watch 30 Rock.
Right, it's the cast and the characters that just, like, they're just so solid that, like, even when it's not great, you're still just really enjoying yourself. There was another
Annie
thing
playing the ring girl is funny.
It's funny. That's
funny
a fun bit. I mean,
that's good. That's good.
I feel complicated about it, but part of me also really enjoys the fact that Jeff is like, let's just go to the party, and then of course Dean shows up in a ring girl, like
something came up.
And then
all right, y'all. Jim Rash in the ring girl outfit.
Hot.
Can we have a discussion?
I literally found myself going, bitch. Like, I was like...
For the first time since the Deanville, I was like, oh, my. oh, goodness me.
Wait a minute.
Heavens to Murgatroyd, I do declare.
The thing about this one is it feels less ironic than most of his costumes are costumes. You know, they're goofy, they are played up, they're outlandish, and there's not a lot there. But he's got a really like delicate makeup on, and like the wig is actually a pretty decent wig, and like
there's work.
You can also, not to mention the fact that like his chest looks good. Like Jim was working out. Like
his abs look good.
I was like, Jimothy, my goodness.
Jim is one of those dudes where you're like, oh, they're fit. They're like
Jim's hot.
Fit the
I
whole
would put
time.
Jim Rash in a Marvel movie. Fight me. But in like, I mean, not.
He's
like,
already. I know what you mean.
I know what you mean.
I know he's already.
Sorry.
You caught me before I. But I mean.
Yeah, our next Professor X, Jim Rash. But I don't know if y'all have ever seen Jim Rash when he's not playing the Dean, and he's like the facial hair's grown in a little bit, the like head is kind of growing out. Jim, I hate to just sit here and objectify Jim Rash, but I don't.
It's kind of
I hate to, but I don't.
It gives me like slightly Stanley Tucci vibes, where you're like, you know what I'm talking about, Kevin?
Now we're talking about it. Y'all,
Huge, baby.
Is Easy A still on Netflix? Y'all go watch Easy A and just watch Stanley Tucci.
Movie.
Fuck me, dude. Stanley Tucci is the dad in Easy A. I'm wearing a sweater and it gonna come off. Like, goddamn.
Speaking of sweating, there is a piece of.
Speaking of the Hunger Games, sorry.
There is a piece of set dressing in this episode that I actually really love, and it's they walk into Pierce's bedroom, and they turn it on, and there's that like goofy 70s porn music that comes on, and you're like, okay, this is a very predictable bit, but you know, good for them because they did it. And then I love it. There's this fireplace, but the fireplace is a neon sign of flames.
Rules. Great.
It's so good. I look
so
at that
good.
and I'm like, I hate it so much that I kind of want it. Like, it's wild. And then even that little moment. Wait, do we? Okay. Also, I'm just realizing this now. We get a fun explanation for, like, how all of this stuff happens. Like, oh, he's got a fake mirror. Oh, he's got the latex walls. Right? Sure. Do we ever get an explanation for why there's a miniature earthquake in the study and the mirror and the picture of Pierce's dad like comes to life and is demonic? Are we supposed to just blow that off as like Jeff having a daddy issue episode? Because that does not work for me.
I don't think we do. I don't.
There's a full-blown earthquake and we never find out why.
It's all in their head, man. Like, what do you think?
They're so scared.
Line isn't you're walking. Yeah. Yes. Quickly follow.
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 That's good. I love Britta answering phones repeatedly.
No, that's
Britta, stop answering phones. It's a good bit. Or she's like, I've never been in a place like this for that long. I mean, not against my will. You were saying?
Yeah, it just
anyway,
moves on.
It's a good bit.
Very good.
Can I talk about one bit of this episode that actually, like, bothers me on just a conceptual level?
Please.
Sure.
So...
I don't know why I said
Troy.
that like I was tentative.
I was like,
go for it.
Yeah, I'm not about to, like, blow any fucking dams down
things
here or
about this
anything like that.
episode.
Yeah,
Protective.
So, Troy Barnes is dumb.
How
We know
dare
this.
you, but you're right.
No,
I
an
also
himbo
got
king.
offended, Jace. I was like,
Mean! That's my baby!
I love Troy Barnes. He's not a smart man. At least not
How
in
dare you?
a lot
I
of
wanna
traditional
fight you
ways.
Every time you say that.
He has a lot of emotional intelligence.
That's where he's
but-
the least intelligent.
But Troy, not at the end of mixology certification, you fool. But Troy also canonically fucks. So,
Yeah, that's true! Oh my god!
how am I to understand that he does not know what a sex swing is?
Can I tell you my take? Can I please tell you my take?
Please.
Troy's prime was in high school.
Where they wouldn't have had, like,
He
equipment.
only knows
Oh,
about missionary.
I
He
think,
is a
yeah,
straight
I think
dude.
ever since...
hold on, the last one's a little
Troy...
offensive.
Wow.
Okay,
yeah.
well, Caleb, when you
I'm
were
kidding.
in high school,
I'm kidding.
but no, but like I
Well,
do.
hold
I
on.
do understand the
Are you
offense.
about to ask me a very incriminating question if I'm to give an accurate answer?
You've got kids. I can't ask you this question.
Ask away. My kids can fuck it. Let's go. What's up?
Okay, when you were in high school, right? When you were in high school,
Uh-huh.
were you familiar with kink?
Yeah.
Enough to know what a sex
Enough
swing
to know what a
is.
sex swing and a gimp suit and
Can
is.
someone tell me? I think I know the answer.
Or the collars. Like,
Well, he goes.
Troy
oh,
would have seen 80s comedies. Like, Troy would have, like, it's not... Troy would be familiar with...
Wait. There's an internal continuity error. Pulp Fiction. We talk about.
So
Pulp
he would
Fiction.
know.
oh shit, that's a really good point.
It is.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
point.
so he would know like, he would be familiar, like, a lot of teenagers are with the iconography of kink as, like, a comedy punchline. You know, like, the collars, the whips, the dominatrix thing as, like, a comedy punchline, if nothing else. If they have not explored that
It
area
would make
sexually.
more sense, genuinely make more sense, if Shirley actually didn't know what they were. I get that Shirley's got like a dark past of like, oh, you know, she's seen some shit. She's a new person. She's, you know, she's.
I also think Shirley fucks.
Shirley definitely fucks. She has 2 children.
Okay.
No, Shirley's a middle-aged, married Christian woman. She absolutely knows what all that stuff is, and she acts embarrassed by it to hold up the image that she.
Okay, no, you're right. You're so right. You're so right. Which is exactly the role that.
As someone raised by a middle-aged, married Christian woman, trust me. Like
She still has sex. She's still married to Malcolm Jamal Warner. She still has sex.
I mean, they do make a good point earlier in a previous season where he's like, "Don't you use your sexy voice?" And they all go, "Oh, that's what."
Oh, yeah, it's alarming.
That's a good bit.
It's alarming.
It is a jarring moment where you're like,
Oh.
Oh.
Oh my. That's nice. Yeah, it rings so, like, I know it's classic dumb guy humor, but Troy fucks. He would be aware of what it is, whether or not he's used one. He would be aware of what it is. That's all I'm saying.
he would not look at that swing and not be able to figure out context from that.
Right, like, the joke doesn't work as well as Abed, but, like, I could buy Abed or Annie not knowing what these
Annie
are.
not knowing it would be, well,
But
because
even then, it's
even
like...
Annie has a very, like, it's constantly implied that Annie is naive, but, like, has a dark, kinky side. Like, they play with that.
Yeah, it just ring. I know it's just like it's not a.
It's
a
purely
toss-away
there to have
joke, but
Shirley
it doesn't
go,
ring.
"You'll break something." That's the only reason they have that whole bit.
Secret dog, like Donald Glover is funny, but like I just again, Troy would know. That's all I'm saying.
Troy would know.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, Troy would be.
Was he just
aware.
born? Yeah, that's all I got. Anyway,
maybe Troy's playing it off on purpose.
No.
To make
what's
Shirley
the
uncomfortable.
joke? But then what's the joke in the episode of Community? I just don't
Right,
understand.
I mean, we don't even get if Troy. I feel like if Troy was messing with Shirley, which also I don't think he would. Like, there's like it's we. I wish we actually got more of like Troy and Shirley's interactions because there's a really interesting like relationship that they form that we just don't get to see.
Yeah.
But I feel like if Troy was messing with Shirley, we would have seen some sort of like look in his eye of him being like, haha, I'm fucking with you. That like Shirley doesn't see, but we as an audience see. And there's a very genuine childlike joy in swinging, which rings true to his character in a certain childlike joy in swinging is true to Troy. Not knowing what a sex swing is not true to Troy.
Absolutely, exactly. You could do the bit where they're both trying to pretend like they don't know. That's a bit you could do.
That would have been fun.
In a very funny, in a very like screwball comedy kind of way. But this, it just doesn't scan.
It just doesn't when in this same episode earlier on we have that great things joke, which also implies that he knows to a certain extent that there are sex things. And there are sex things that I should at least pretend to be ashamed of, right?
It's really great to watch these episodes. It's really great to watch these episodes and not think about them. I'm realizing rapidly that over the next 6.5 weeks that I have to watch these episodes and think about them and talk about them.
And critique them. Yes, exactly. And come on here and discuss them in an analytical context.
Because independently, most of these bits are okay. When added to a continuity, none of these bits make sense at all.
Yeah. Unfortunately. Doesn't scan, even though, again, I like
I legit have been sitting here for most of this time trying to come up with reasons why it's actually okay.
Trying to the personal retcon, one of my favorite to-do list things, right? Where it's like, I'm going to come up with an excuse as to why it makes sense because I want it to.
You are a comic book reader.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Oh,
exactly.
You do. I see.
But no, I just it's not one of those things that you can really do. It's a little frustrating.
Yeah.
Doesn't work. Doesn't scan. Doesn't track. So let's get into our rankings. First time in a little bit. Been a while since we've been here.
Yeah. Oof. Can we just say that season 4, episode 1's tag is just all the way at the bottom? It's irredeemably offensive.
Indeed. As we sorry to kick things off, I did promise that we would talk about our average rankings of every season here before we rank season 4.
Oh,
and I don't want to forget that promise.
Please do it.
So as of right now, before we've ranked a single piece of season 4, the average episode rankings of every season: season 1, 46.76. Season 3, 33.41, and Season 2, 27.17. That is the average for every season. So Season 2, The Undisputed King, I doubt it's going to get dethroned. It just doesn't seem possible. I only know this because Matt over at Communiess, the great fan account, made a Google spreadsheet of our rankings and like had it do math and come up with averages. Oh my god,
that's so funny. Is it gonna be weighted on number of episodes per season though?
It is. It is divided. You know, like it's averaged out. So you take the total number and divide it by. Season 1 is 25. Season 2 is 24. But there's no greater weighting other than that. It's just simply the average. Rank all episodes added together and divided.
I would be interested in seeing what a weighting would do to that. I mean, I don't think that a weighting would honestly make 5 or 6 beat season 2, but I would be curious to see if there's like an efficiency weighted, right? Where it's like, well, there's only this many episodes to affect this. I don't know. There's some engineer out there.
And should we value 1 through 10th place over other weighted placement?
Right. Do top 10 get extra bonus points? You know,
Chase, what you're basically saying is somewhere somebody gives a fuck about math and they should figure this out.
They should. If anyone wants to,
math,
I'll give you.
Very busy with other things, and I.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I didn't mean that to be like accusatory.
You get on.
I don't give a fuck about math.
Game,
if you fuck with maths, that's fine. I don't.
maths.
Math. He said like a Brit.
Foggy London town. Yeah.
Here's my excuse for that. I've been watching Peaky Blinders. That's about it.
Peaky Blinders.
Is that good? I've heard it's pretty good.
It's very good.
All right.
I think I said this in a previous episode. If you have even the slightest thing for well-dressed, accented bad boys, you're fucking done. The whole show's full
Who don't?
All right.
I can't watch an episode of that show and not want to pour myself a couple fingers of whiskey and go smoke a cigarette. Like, I can't. Can't watch that show without being like, I should go do this.
Yeah. And for the official record, the end tags are also in season 2, 3, 1 order. So the season 2 end tags are the best. Season 3 is second best. Season 1 is third best. But it's much closer in the end tags as far as the average.
Season 2 just bangs.
It just bangs. And, you know, there's a lot of good stuff to come. Like, the highs of season 5 and 6 are really
No, when they go high, they go very high. For sure.
But I'm curious to see how I really want to see how this all shakes out when it's all said and done. But first we must get back to our rankings. So yeah, is this season 4 end tag just the pits?
I would just drop it.
Oh yeah, straight to hell.
Oh Lord, no. Our new number 70.
What's funny is I will say that for the next several weeks. Just
oh Lord,
it's the thing that's
get it on the soundboard.
From the context, it's funny. Divorced from the context, it's funny.
It's like it's accidentally self-aware. That's the reaction we have to this whole moment, including Shirley saying, "Oh Lord, no."
Lord, no.
Get it on the soundboard next to "ha gay." So let's.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh
good.
Lord,
I would expect nothing less of you. And then the end tag for the Halloween episode with the rotating bookcase, classic comedy bit.
That's actually really
Scooby-Doo,
cute.
Young Frankenstein, classic bit.
But then they also throw in like a two men in a trench coat.
2 kids in a trench coat,
which is a great bit. It does seem a little random.
Are you taller?
Are you tall?
Are you tall?
I do like this. It doesn't hit quite the same as some of the other end tags, but I think also because context, like I haven't been primed for that kind of joke at this point. You know what I'm talking about? It's like when you go see when you're going out to see comedy and you're just not warmed up properly, and a great comedian is only coming across as good. That's how I feel about this moment. I don't feel like I was properly primed for how good this end tag is, so it's hard to give it what it deserves. It's a great bit though. It's like there's a lot of really good things going for it. Slut! Is it funnier than slut?
Current number 31. Is it funnier than slut?
That's my metric. I don't think so.
It's close. But it's not quite there.
It's not as funny as How You Live It. How You Live It.
How You Live It. That shit's so fucking funny to me.
It's so funny. Vending machine. No. Spaceships.
Vending machines too good. To me.
Once we get to Leonard's...
Baby. That's not how it goes, but that's how I hear.
But what about Leonard's potato chip review? I think maybe now we're talking.
Yeah, I think put it just above the Leonard's reviews. Give it the new number 41. That's my vote.
Yeah.
Rotating bookcase number 41. Now to the episode rankings. Okay, is the season 4 premiere History 101? Is it the worst episode of Community so far?
Let's work our way up. Which one's basic genealogy?
Wait, what's the bottom?
That's the Family Day. Okay, so Family Day is at the bottom.
Yeah, sure.
Where guest star Catherine McPhee, even in that episode, which right now is our bottom episode, that episode has Britta getting whipped by a switch, has Pictionary.
That's our last place episode?
Has Senior Chang roasting the class's kids.
It's so wild. It's amazing how this moment right here really puts into perspective just how fucking good all the episodes in the first 3 seasons are. Because you get to this and you're like, wait, that's...
No, this episode's better than both of the ones we just watched, in my opinion. I'm sorry.
Well, I ask you to remember the rest of Basic Genealogy, where it's like Slater breaks up with Jeff, and then I ask you to remember.
Kev, you listed like 5 very funny things, and if you
They're
can
very
do the
funny
same,
bits.
if you can do the same
5
for
funny
either of these episodes,
Okay, hold on. Okay, so first let's do History 101.
sure.
Is it the number 72, the worst episode of Community so far? I think it's pretty undisputed, yes. I think my fucking ringing unendorsement of History 101 is that I do not laugh out loud one time. There is not a moment in this episode that I go, okay, there's one time. But Basic Genealogy has 3 times.
That's it.
History 101. Try not to be a season 4 hater, but unfortunately the
off to
episode speaks for itself.
And we're off. I do since that one's been ranked, I do want to say I do actually think episode 2 is slightly higher than episode 1 in season 4.
I agree. It's not a great episode. Like, it's not a capital G great episode, but I think we can talk, like,
is it better than Basic Genealogy,
Discourse.
though? Like our current 71, is it better than the second to last place right now?
As a whole episode, yes.
Yeah, I think this episode, but I would watch this episode before that one, for sure.
Yes,
that's
even
actually
though Basic Genealogy has, like, some fucking so good bits.
So then which one's Spanish 101? Oh, that's the second episode.
That's the second episode of the show, where, like, Jeff and Pierce give the presentation, they give the protest. Like, this episode... Paranormal Parentage is better than that episode.
That one, yeah. I would actually rank this higher. Okay, so now we're looking at what?
Now we're cooking. So I'm looking for the episode I would like to compare it to. Now, okay, so competitive ecology, where they're all terrible to each other, but also Todd is there. I think this episode is better than that one, the worst episode of season 3.
Oh.
I think so.
I would say this one's better than that one, yeah. I'm thinking about it. When I think of competitive ecology, I think of your love is weird. Which is
again, like, that is the shining spot. That's it. That's the
well, I can think of, like, I have fond memories of this episode, even though, like, consistency-wise, it does not make sense. And it's just a chaotic episode, but like I can get with that.
The Cougar Town refs are funny. Like, I think it pays off well. Like, it makes Annie my 3rd favorite show. Like that, her watching Cougar Town.
No, there's nice, lovely jokes. I think also, like, Troy and Abed dressed up as Calvin and Hobbes alone is points in my book.
Adorable.
That's very good.
This episode is better than the season 1 finale. With the T-slur and Jeff kisses Annie and...
Is it?
The only...
Yeah, it is.
This episode is better than that. It is.
Competitive wine tasting. I don't know why. Every time I see competitive wine tasting, I think of the episode of Parks and Rec.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I actually have that labeled.
They go to, like, a wine tasting thing.
That's the one where Jeff and Pierce take a wine tasting class, and Troy pretends to have been molested.
Oh.
Yeah, this episode's better than that one.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Okay, we're breaking out of the 60s.
We're climbing a little bit, so we're gonna climb. Okay, is this better than the pilot, number 55? Now we're talking.
That's a really confusing. I feel
pilot
really
has
conflicted
good moments,
about that.
but they're all Duncan for me. Like, the pilot's best moments are all Ian Duncan.
Yeah.
Either I'm God or truth is relative. In either case, booyah.
Booyah.
With built-in ball warmers.
Yeah, but if we...
moral relativism.
We haven't really graded on weight yet per episode, but, like, something about the first or second episode of season 4 being better than the pilot of the show feels wrong to me.
It feels wrong, but at the same time, part of me is like, but I probably would.
I think
this episode
stacks up.
Pilot.
If you ask me to watch one, they're like,
I would.
I'd pick Paranormal Parentage.
I'd probably watch Paranormal Parentage. I actually have to unfortunately agree with that. This is wild. This is wild.
Okay, there's going to be a lot of season 4 down here at the bottom. You know, like, it's going to be down there. But it's not all at the very
And we've already said this is probably one of the best episodes in the season.
If not the best. Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's one of the shining stars.
That's a good point.
Here.
That's a good point.
So, okay. So, all right. Here might be a big one for me. Is this better than foosball? No.
No.
Foosball has good jokes.
No. No.
Okay, is this better than Custody Law and Eastern European Diplomacy,
Is
the
that when-
Luca episode?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not.
Intro to Political Science, The Election, the Greendale Election.
No, it's not.
Psychology of Letting Go, Pierce's mom dies, and Britta and Annie have a mud wrestling fight. I think this is better than that.
We're definitely close. Which one's the Science of Illusion? The one right under that?
That's the April Fool's episode, where Britta and Shirley and Annie are cops, and Britta dumps the body out the window. I think this episode has better memorable moments. I think the Halloween episode does.
I'm torn between putting it at 53 and 54. So it's under Intro to Poli-Sci. I don't know if it's above Psychology of Letting Go or below Psychology of Letting Go. I'm torn, so I'm going to leave it to you too.
Okay. I think it's just above.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Yep, I think it's above.
Well,
Season 4, Episode 2.
It's weird because it's one of those like bit episodes almost. It's like I want to watch this because of what it is, not because of specific
Parentage?
jokes most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also innately grained in my. I mean, for me, it's ingrained in my mind as like it's the first episode
it's what
ever
got me
saw.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
At least we have a
Well,
very
that's-
easy metric to like next time we're going because we all believe at this point that this is the best episode in season 4. We can just jump there and say, okay, up or down,
Going down.
and
Yeah.
we'll
How we
mostly
going?
be going down. But I mean, if we find something,
There's some chance for up.
yeah, there is.
There's a couple here.
I don't have season 4 memorized front to back, so there could be a couple that go, oh, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
However, next week we won't be up that high.
No, I
I'm
watched the
sorry
first
to
couple
say-
minutes of the Inspector SpaceCon episode, and
I remember that episode lighting the bad kind of fire in me, so I have not seen
I,
it
for some
in
reason,
8
have moderately fond
years.
memories of that episode, just because,
Okay.
like, my whole thing with, like, Doctor Who at the time, but I
Sure.
looking at it at a critical lens may completely make me hate it, so who knows.
When you know you have to talk about and rank an episode, it does put it in a different mental context.
Different mental context, for sure.
And, yeah, it's going to be... Next week is Expector Spacetime Convention and the return of the Germans, and it's a big World War II joke.
Wait,
All right, next week might not be...
What did I say? Sorry, that did not register. Say that one more time.
Next week, the foosball Germans return, but instead of Nick Kroll, they have the guy from Silicon Valley, and it's a big World War II. It's that one might not
the guy
rank
from
as high.
Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
The billionaire guy. I want the doors that go like this.
Oh shit! This guy fucks.
The 3 Comma Club guy. This guy fucks. Yeah, he's in it.
That's
He
right.
plays
He
plays
is
the German
that
guy. The boom operator from the final season of The Office that I haven't seen.
Yeah, Mike or whatever the fuck.
Oh, whoa! That is who that guy is!
Yeah, it is.
Whoa!
That's who that guy is.
Brain
What's
just
his
exploded.
What's his name in Silicon Valley?
Oh, no
Guy.
idea. I haven't watched that show in years, but it was funny. He was funny on that fucking show. We are segueing here to the end of the fucking program. Program. My only plug this week, in case you're not tired of me talking about The Witcher, up on the Patreon, my partner and I uploaded a conversation about specifically like comparing the first book to the first season of the show and the adaptation, in a more literary context than we did on advanced Witcher studies.
Yes.
So if you're just not done listening to me talk about The Witcher for now, just $1 will get you that conversation.
Oh wow! Only $1.
$1. I'm a man of the people. I want to make a little money on the side, but like, there's not gonna be a high bar of entry. I'm not putting out $5 fucking content. Okay.
I'm gonna do a little plug. A friend of mine reached out to me a little while back and said, he was like, hey, I really want to do a cabaret, right? I want to do a virtual cabaret. We're both musical theater performers. And there's not a lot of musical theater happening right now. There's little bits. It's hard to keep track of it. But specifically, both of us are trans. And he was like, let's have an all-trans musical theater cabaret. Let's just pool our resources and just try to have something to show off what trans people can do in art medium that we're not really super present in right now. Let's do that. So we did that, and we've been working on this project. It's called Transpose Cabaret. Follow the account on Instagram. I believe it's also on Twitter at Transpose Cabaret. Give it a follow. There's links to getting tickets in the bio. There's also a link to tickets in my bio on Instagram. That's JACENZIEV. And yeah, I mean, so it's $5 if you're trans. It's $20 if you're cis. You can sponsor a ticket. If you're trans, you can reach out and request a free ticket because we know stuff is hard right now. So if you don't even have $5, we still want you to be able to see this. So you can reach out through there. Half of the proceeds are going to be going to For the Gwirls, GWRLs, which is a Black trans-led collective that curates parties to fundraise money to help Black transgender people pay for their rent, gender-affirming surgeries, smaller copays for medicines, doctor's visits, and travel assistance. We're very excited about being able to donate to that cause. But yeah, if you like theater or musical theater or just singing, or you just really want to see some trans people do their stuff, I was the assistant director and creative consultant on the project. I'm also a featured performer. If any of you want to hear me sing some fun tunes, it's gonna be a great time. I'm really excited about it. It's a fun project, so go ahead and give Transpose Cabaret a follow. Go to my Instagram. There's also a big old post on there and a link to the tickets right there. Just check it out. And if you want to just donate and you I don't like singing but I like this cause, you can also just send money. It's gonna be a gay old time, if you know what I mean. So there's that. Oh, I didn't tell you a date. I'm so sorry. The time, the show is, so it's a watch when you feel like it type thing. So if you get a ticket, you will be able to watch it back February 26th through 28th. That will be the window to being able to watch the stream. Okay, now I'm done. Sorry, Daddy.
It's all right. Like I said, I don't have anything cool like that to talk about, like either of you had to talk about. I just got a couple of articles posted in the last couple of weeks. One came out Monday, and one came out last week on Wednesday, about, in this order, starting Wednesday, driving games, and about PlayStation games as prestige storytelling, because we talked about it last week, and I was like, I gotta finish my thoughts on this. Outside of that, we've got some interviews coming up on the game blog, nerdybits.com. That's kind of cool. The executive producer of Far Cry 6 is going to be in. And then St. Louis local board game dev and also pancake artist, if you've seen Dan Cakes on the internet, that guy is going to be on this week. So yeah, just kind of doing that shit. If you like hearing about games and like hearing me talk, that's kind of the best place to go. I mean, this place is good too. I like all the things I do. But yeah, if you wanna read those articles, go check those out. And if you wanna participate in any of that shit, please do. Like I said, my shout outs aren't nearly as cool.
That was groovy.
I've been taking care of a kid, so most of my creative endeavors are a little lagging right now, but I'm making it work.
That's okay. Editing duties for this show are on me, so don't you worry about it. We will be back next week to continue our journey through the gas leak year, but until then, pop.
What?
It's been a minute since I heard this song. Forgot about that shit and I hate it.
Hate that shit all over again.
I was like, yeah. Oh, fuck. That's right. Jace draws no small amount of pleasure from absolutely pissing me off.
I do enjoy it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Where would we go? We can go anywhere that you know. Could we travel through time?
Or maybe see France?
or anywhere else naked ladies will dance.
Could we fly in a booth?
Could we go to church camp?
I'd rather stay at Greendale.
Could we ride a hot air balloon?
Yes! Now that's an adventure.
We should go soon.
We can go anywhere in a balloon.
Yes! That's an adventure.
We can go high.
We can see anything up in the sky.
Yes! Now that's an adventure. Pierce, bring your dentures.
We're so thrilled because soon
We'll be in a hot air balloon.
So you will actually be, because this is also dropping next week if I get my editing done. So you'll be a very popular man. You'll be very.
I'll keep coming up. Popularity will be another issue, but I will be, available to be heard.
You're in one of those periods like a Jude Law 2004 where you're like, this guy's in like 6 movies.
It's like, it's like everywhere. Yeah,
he's fucking everywhere. Yeah, so that's you. And they brought you on to talk about one of the best episodes in TV history, and I brought you on to talk about the season 4 premiere, the first 2 episodes of season 4, one of which I like quite a bit. I think is legitimately very good.
Yeah, I really like the Halloween episode.
Yeah, I think that one is remarkably solid. But anyway, this is the interview portion of Advanced Community Studies, and I am finally joined by the great Matt from the Communiess Twitter account. Matt, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. I didn't even know you were recording, so this worked out well.
Oh, good. This is my way of telling you.
Oh no, this is the appropriate way to break that news.
Yeah, you listen. You're an avid lister of the show.
I know exactly how you do this. Yes,
the slow conversational fade in. Terry Gross, I am not. Anyway, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
Communities is the reason that most of us have any listeners whatsoever.
I don't believe that, by the way. I don't believe that at all. I believe they would find you. I believe that is the basic argument that a good podcast gets found.
That's true. They will eventually find quality. But I would say you are the difference between having 50 listeners and having 250 listeners. That, I think, is the crucial difference.
Welcome to Greendale said the same thing, but being shared from the Communities account helps a lot. Like they were saying, 100%. But they said the exact same phrase. I think they basically said we had 50 listeners and now we have something else. It's a
different number.
Yeah, it's a magnitude of numbers. Yeah, it's changed a good bit, and good. The more people that find you, the better. The more people that get addicted to this show, the better. I'm on the street corner. I'm Crack Smith spaghetti. But with community.
The sign, right? Yeah. You're that guy.
Well, no, season 3 reference
the spaghetti, the transient.
Spaghetti, the Crack Smith. That is still one of like my favorite little references to somebody you never see.
Right.
Calling somebody a cracksmith, like a blacksmith, or
for crack.
But for crack,
giving them like a title, an honorific, really, they earned they're in the crack smelting facility and they're putting it all together.
Yeah, Horsespot understands his environment, so he can't just sell crack. He must be a cracksmith.
Exactly.
Thank you, Woodsman Troy.
Yeah, exactly. Again, unfortunately, not the episodes that we're talking about.
not remotely what we're talking
but that's
about.
Okay. We're littered with fucking community references. It's all my brain understands anymore. But I'll ask you the first introductory question that I asked to all guests. Tell me a little bit about your community journey, your history with the show.
I did, like most people that ever found the show, I heard about Modern Warfare. Mm-hmm. And I saw in the publications and the people that, talk about media, everybody goes, holy crap, this is the best thing that's ever been made for television. It's Modern Warfare. And I said, well, I got to go watch that. There's no hearing. So, it's the best. Well, I'm better than that. I don't need to go chase this thing. No, you go and watch it. And so I went and I watched Modern Warfare and I was hooked. I mean, Modern Warfare, when I saw it, I thought this is the number one, I don't see how they got all this done. I don't believe this was a followable story. It all was those things. It all worked really good. It was really smart.
Yeah.
I that was my hook. I went and started catching up, and I think that I watched the season 2 premiere, and I watched live going forward with season 2.
That's impressive. Still an early adopter, I would say.
Oh yeah. Mike on the account is early. He's pilot. He watched the pilot going forward. But that was getting the hook. I got the hook.
That's all right. Hey, everyone catches on. People are catching on now, and that doesn't make them any better or worse, quote unquote, as fans.
There's a ton of fans right now that would have been 5 when it came out, and they're on Twitter.
Right. A bunch of high schoolers in quarantine who
and they're bored out of their mind, and they're like, catch this show where they saw they see the meme from Remedial Chaos Theory, they see the burning room, and they finally give it a look. Yeah, and realize it's a smart show that says you're accepted. For a teenager, being accepted is a big deal.
Yeah, and alchemy truly could not have been better of this show dropping on Netflix on April 2nd or April 1st.
Yeah, April 1st.
Basically at the point where the nation was going into lockdown, not just like the major metropolitan centers. It was like, it truly could not have been planned, that it just was this perfect synthesis of elements to...
If it was Chang, but yes. Yeah.
Yeah. This was that spider robot was actually, it was dispensing the coronavirus.
City College paid for the spider robot, and Chang released it all over the place. We're driving it around. That makes complete sense.
The spider robot that is set up in the penultimate episode of a season and then not used. It's a fascinating
never even referenced again.
I don't blame say Dan and Chris for not picking up on that in 5 and 6 when their budget is like when someone took an axe and hacked the budget apart. I don't blame them for not saying we need a Wild Wild West giant spider robot, but it is weird that season 4 didn't attempt giant spider robot in some
even a giant spider joke. There's no even kind of reference to it. And they do serialization in season 4, which they, for the most part, the show doesn't do otherwise. But in season 4, they're really trying for a response to what they needed, what the network wanted them to do. The network wanted them to be, from the song from season 3's opener, be more normal.
But to actually attempt to be more normal, and it's great that we're talking about the beginning of this season, because I asked you on really as like a tone setter for the next 6 weeks of podcasting that it's going to take us to get through season 4, that like I don't want this to be 7 weeks of just like hitting somebody while they're down, you know what I mean? Because I truly think it was a no-win situation. There was no way that they were ever going to be able to pull this off. I don't even know, I've made this argument before, I don't even know if Dan could pull off a season 4 immediately following the season 3 that they did. He's proven me wrong before. That's but fair. I think even if Harmon had kept to the 4-year plan, that he would have been able to properly pull the tablecloth out from underneath the glassware. And you are, I've described you before as a diplomat of community Twitter. Like everyone can be their own kind of fan. Is there a mantra that you say all the time?
And that's always true.
Yeah.
It has to be true. You can't be... Every fan that says it's my way or the highway is telling somebody else they can't be a fan.
Yeah,
that's wrong.
We don't need that in don't take so seriously liking a television show. No. We're here to spread the joy of the television show.
No, I'm running a fan account and I'm telling everybody else, lighten up on your version. It's okay to love it the way you do, and you should, if you feel passionate about a character. Today is the anniversary of D&D episode. There are people right now still just very angry that they can't stream it, but they can spend $3 and buy it. They don't get to watch it like everything else, but they can still see it. It's not hidden from them. It's not unknown.
Yeah, exactly.
So, this hard line about your opinion about whatever it is. I'm glad you're passionate about it, but you can't take away from everybody else their joy by saying, if you're not on my side, like if you don't say Trobed is gay, if you don't say Jeff and Annie is canon, if you're putting that limit out there, you're stopping people from enjoying the shows. That's not a good thing for anybody.
No, that doesn't help anybody.
No.
And I mean, for the record, one could buy the DVD of Community Season 2 for $8, including commentary on every episode. So if you miss D&D that bad, I would recommend
you can have
that.
it. Yeah.
You can get the entire series on Blu-ray for $34. And times is hard, but I am saying it is possible.
It's possible. I think you can pay like $3 and buy it on Apple on iTunes and watch it on any device you own that's Apple related afterwards. I mean,
yeah. I think I still have an iTunes copy from when I spent $3 in high school to buy that episode. And
they had the entire series for $20 like 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I have that.
Just in case.
Well, yeah, basically.
I mean, you never know.
I had, it wasn't on Netflix when it landed, so I still had it on Hulu. But it was $20 to get all my shows of a show I watch. I kind of like breathing. I do this all the time, and I know it probably irritates my very significant other wife, but I watch it all the time, and I don't have a conversation doesn't start with a word, like it doesn't start with her about something new unless it includes the word community or Troy Nabed or Twitter, and she has had enough.
I understand. Well, that's why you do a podcast, right? That's why you do a Twitter account, so that you can save your significant other that wealth of conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is why one starts these projects.
She's really polite on the first one.
Sure.
It's like, oh, well, that's very fascinating, and just completely lets that go and finds another subject. Yeah, thank goodness.
Absolutely.
25 years in April, by the way.
Congratulations on that. That ain't nothing.
That is not nothing.
Your marriage is older than most people on community Twitter, and I think that is impressive. You should be proud of that.
I am. It's
more than half the podcast in the group chat.
My marriage is older than members of You Can't Diss a Pod. I think it's older than both of them. So because Zach just had a birthday and he's 24. So
your marriage is older than most of the characters of Community by the time the show ends. And that ain't nothing. And that's impressive. But let's, and you're a diplomat, but of course you're opinionated. And as we were discussing earlier, I'm very opinionated. I have this show, and I'm an X-Men fan. I'm a wrestling fan. I'm the most opinionating human being you will ever find.
You're kind of like on all those spectrums. You're not in the middle of any of them. So
no. Yeah. I feel things very deeply. But right before hopping on, someone was like, I'd rather watch season 4 5 times than watch season 6, my beloved Community season 6. And I was just like, to each their own, have fun, but I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this.
This can just spiral out of control. Because people do not respond to logic. Full stop. That's the end of the conversation. If you're passionate about something, logic does not matter. It doesn't.
That's absolutely true.
That's David Hume level of, this is how we've known about this way, that understanding how people behave since the late 1700s. It's a great philosophical argument. You make all your decisions based on emotion. Logic is a thing you do to defend your emotional decision.
There's this bit in Dirk Gently, the book, the first one, where this guy gets rich by creating a piece of software that you instead of inputting information and getting an outcome, you input the outcome you want, and then it provides information to support the outcome you were going to do anyway. And he sells this to the Pentagon and makes billions of dollars. And that's how I feel a lot of the time walking around with myself and with other people. It was you've already made up your mind. Now you're looking for evidence.
Yes. It's
what you believe.
If you accept this idea, everybody you talk to is easier to get along with. Mm-hmm. You're not arguing a fact with me, even though you're using facts. You're emotionally tied to this answer.
Yeah.
And as long as you know that, it makes all these conversations is a lot easier to deal with, because then you're dealing with their emotion instead of the facts. You don't have to argue facts with people. You just reach to that main issue. Like, you want to be seen and heard. I mean, everybody has a strong opinion about it, wants to be seen and heard on it. And that's what I respond to that. Like, you get to be you, and I am all for it. Be you. Just don't tell everybody else not to be.
Yeah, and don't tell everyone else to be you, right?
Yeah.
Like, not.
Oh, yeah.
And that's okay. And we need to exist in these spaces. And the last thing I want to see for the community is to become what I see in the Star Wars or comic book community.
Yeah.
Like, it's the most toxic places on earth. Like, you just do not want to wade into those spaces.
There's no room to get there.
Yeah, I do not want the people that like Community to make me like Community less. That's like the thing that I don't want. So I try to, I'm not gonna like hide my opinion, but like not spread negativity, try and focus more on what we like than what we don't like. And also, if someone starts to bother me, I just like mute, block.
But we don't, from the Communities account, we have very few that we block and mute. I think I've had one in 3 months. And usually it's just because somebody has something they will not let go and won't. We've got other people we're trying to service. The account exists to connect community fans. It doesn't. Mike and I make zero from this. I promise. We've spent money. We have not gained money. I bought a ticket to, I think, every Darkest Timeline on Looped, and I have never seen a single episode on Looped because I gave away my ticket. I mean, I was going to see the last one, and then the guy who won the premium thing was in Australia and wasn't awake when we had announced it, and so I had to give it away before the time ran out. So I gave it to somebody else. And when he got on, he's like, "Oh man, I can't believe I missed." I'm like, "Yeah, here's my ticket." I'm sorry you're not awake at 2 a.m. in Australia. But I'm also happy you got a good night's rest. I don't want to. Yeah,
good for you.
We don't do this for any other purpose. We would love for there to be a movie. We would love for there to be anything else. We absolutely, Mike and I both love every member of this cast. Maybe not as much on Chevy, but every member of this cast we really love, and we love what they made for us. That's and because of that, there's still people drawing Troy Knobhead pictures. There's still people drawing stuff about the show. There's still people making art about it. There's still people making fan fiction over it. I want to hold those people up and let everybody, if you want to be publicly seen, make sure I see it. You don't have to tag us, but make sure we see it. We'll hold you up. We want you to be recognized for what you're doing, because ultimately the fandom is more important than the cast members in the show. And as long as we stay focused like that, we're okay. And I think we've done an okay job at that, at least. And we're trying to always do better.
Certainly agree. Yeah. I think y'all do a tremendous job and are the right, because, and it's something I used to talk about when I spent a lot of time on film sets, where it's like the tone comes from the top down, right? Like the biggest figureheads are going to set the tone for everybody else. And so like y'all at Communities, Alex at 6 Seasons, Yagmer over at Out of Context, like that energy. And I would say Yagmer is probably like the chaotic one of the three, but that has a great, like, y'all set the tone for everybody else, whether you know it or not. And I think you do a good job of setting the right tone and sense of decorum.
And what Yagmer does, look, I always say this, Out of Context are the great accounts, because that's the ones that get people noticed. And I want everybody to follow Darkest Timeline. Yagmer's account is fabulous. And they're not completely out of context, because when there's politics going on, they post the politics stuff. It's not, vaguely referencing stuff and you have to go dig it up. They're paying attention. She has other stuff she's interested in, and that means she gets to be her. I completely agree. She's the most chaotic of the three of us.
Absolutely.
because she's living her life and she's having fun with this account that's exploded on her.
Absolutely.
Great. She's a fan. I adore what she does, and Alex does a great job of what he does, and Mike and I do the best we can with what we've got. And I worry about the top down language, but I agree. Our size gives us weight, and there's a responsibility to it. So I don't think of it as top down. I definitely think of it as like a foundational account, because we're the oldest of all of them.
Yeah, top down. You do not own or have dominion over this space, but it's the same way that, and again, I'm using like film terms here, but like the way that people talk about Tom Hanks and Tom Cruise is that like those two are very aware of who they are, and they know that like as the one of the larger beings in whatever space they occupy, they are responsible for making everyone feel welcome and feel okay. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no,
I'm saying you're as popular as Tom Cruise is what I'm saying.
I will take that. I prefer the other one, but yes, no, no,
well, that's fair.
But it's not fair. It's not accurate enough. No, but look, we have a weight because of our age. We have a weight because of our size. We because of our activity, we have a certain weight. We connect to fans. We share the stuff from the show. We're constantly the conduit, and because we're as important as the internet is to the internet. I mean, the connections of the pipes, the pipes of the internet. That's the most important part. You have things that people are doing that need connection. So we're important in that sense. We're desperately trying. I have so many versions of tweet deck set up where I have columns just looking for people saying Troy and Abed or whatever. I'm looking for people being fans so I can like what they're doing. When they finish, if I catch you saying the first time I'm through watching Community, I'm going to send you a tweet telling you congratulations. You're already accepted. And if I ever catch you at the beginning, you're also going to get already accepted. But most people don't say, "Oh, I just started watching this Community and it looks okay." What most of you get is, okay, and a movie. Sometimes that's all you get.
Sure.
But fans know what that means. And so I tell them, you're already accepted in the fandom. I'm happy you're here. That's it. That's all I want you to know. If you follow us, great. I'm not going to beg you. I begged Charlie today, Charlie Coates. That's the last person I begged. I don't think we begged anybody else. It just felt weird because we interact with him, a couple of times a month.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was like, please.
Right. And I speaking to like an even bigger figurehead here, like I feel like the former cast and writers of Community also do a good job of participating in that as much as they feel comfortable. You have people like Gillian and Allison who have kind of removed themselves from it.
They're out. Yeah.
And I cannot blame them for that. Like we must remember that they are people and we do not like hold ownership over them, and they can participate as much or as little as they want to. But people like Ken and people like Charlie and a lot of the former writers are good and out there and like responding to all the Community love. And I just ask anybody listening, like, remember that these people are people and they need to like have some possession over themselves. Don't tweet at people your negative opinions about their work.
Yeah.
That's the wildest thing that I still see happen.
Yeah. I mean, look,
Never understood it.
Ken is loud on a lot of subjects, and good for him. He should be.
Absolutely. He knows his platform.
Even if you don't agree with him, just because you're a celebrity doesn't mean that you have to give away your citizenship card. You're still a participant.
Right.
And so, and Yvette as well. And, I get, if you don't like that, just stop following. Your life will be okay. There's no tweet that you're going to miss from any celebrity where your life is going to be changed drastically because of you see it or you don't.
Changed.
Yeah, changed. Absolutely. If I would have thought about it in time, I would have said it that way. My keyboard swiping automatically goes to changed. I have to think about the word change and go to E, or I don't get it.
It's not even clever. You just keep using it for the word change.
Yeah, you just use it for the same word. Yeah. No, it's everybody gets to do that. And look, Gillian particularly is not terribly social on social media. Never has been. Did it for the show. And the further away from the show she got, the further away from it she got herself. And that's okay. Allison's, a bunch of them early on were really active. And if I was a 5'2", maybe 120 pounds person who was well known and desired by many people, I would never be on social media. Holy cow. No, thank you.
I'm there with you. I definitely understand.
Yeah, I'm an old unattractive dude. I can tweet stuff, nobody cares.
Right.
I'm not, I don't have location stuff turned on my phone either, but they definitely don't want to make that mistake. There's a lot of stuff that happens to people that's not an actual legal. Look, if there's a major event, we see it on the news, but there's a ton of little scary things that happen to people who are celebrities. And I don't want those two people or anybody to go through that process. And I suspect part of the reason we don't see them is they've got enough horror stories in them. They don't want any more.
I would have to imagine that's the case. I think one should just generally assume that any woman in a public space has a bunch of stories that you would rather not. They would rather you not hear about. You know what I mean? That every single one of these people has dealt with stalking and abuse, like all these other things, and it is perfectly within like the rights of these people to rescind themselves from these situations, and we can't blame them one iota.
No, I want them to be safe. I want them to be happy, and if they can't do that on Twitter, then don't be on Twitter. It's okay.
It's not worth it.
Not worth it. I don't want to hear. Look, I can tell you people using Allison Brie's name on Twitter, because I search for people using Allison Brie's name on Twitter. Most of it is, I absolutely love seeing her in everything she does.
Sure.
15% of it is stuff 10% of it I report, but 15% of it is creepy.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand not wanting to see that. Ever.
Absolutely.
It doesn't make your life better to think people are out there thinking about where you are. I don't want that at all.
Absolutely.
And I'm again a nobody. I definitely, if I was 5'2", attractive, and maybe 120 pounds, I don't want that either.
Right.
I just, there's no way about it. I mean, somebody risked that with Joe McHale's 6'4" and carries knives. You're taking your life in your own hands. That's just the stupidest. He's going to dismantle you. Danny Pudi can outrun you, and further, yes.
Right. Exactly.
They have some advantage. Joe's going to see you coming because he's above most of the crowd anyway at 6'4". So you're okay. The huddled masses because of his height. I mean, he knows what's coming in, but for everybody else, like the stuff that Yvette gets, no, that's just wrong. And you see that because she's opinionated about politics. She sees that. I'm sure she sees that way more than she wants to. That stuff is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I get angry when I look at those things and dig through them, because there are people who are just they're just saying something to make themselves feel better, or they're saying something completely creepy. I don't know how we got on this tangent, but good Lord, it's a sewer. That part's a sewer. Thankfully, that's not the majority.
Exactly. So to use that as the counterbalance of what we're trying to avoid, and like the proper tone we're trying to set here, because I also know, like, just getting back to the show itself, I also know how ridiculously hard it is to make anything, much less 13 half hours of television in 14 weeks. Like it's the most ridiculously difficult and complex thing you could ever possibly imagine. And that has a lot to do with, here we are in season 4.
And you have to be mindful of the 70-something episode, nearly 70 episodes already made.
Yeah, right.
That you have to stay within on top of it.
Lore and the universe and rules that
you've got phrases you can't use, you've got phrases you must use, you've got people that can't say them, you've got other people that must say them, or people, it's, you know, that go to the season finale and listen to Abed's line about if you do the same thing you're boring, if you do something you're being something different. I mean, you're not who they were. You're it's a really tight trap, and then take away the voice that held it together.
Right. Like,
yeah,
damned if you do, damned if you don't. And there were, I think we kind of forget this, there were a lot of people that left Community in season 3 that felt it had just gotten like too weird and too divorced from reality. And I remember it being like vocal. I mean, I used to spend time on the AV Club, so like commenters and writers over there talking about like leaving the show. So it's not as if like season 4 was this moment where they just like cut lines on the life rafts and everyone just like floated away. Like
but they lost McKenna, because McKenna wasn't going to do it without Dan.
No,
they lost a lot of their core, and McKenna's there from late season 1 until the end of season 3.
They lost Garrett and Neil. Garrett, Donovan and Neil Goldman, not
Garrett,
the characters.
Donovan,
Garrett and Neil.
not the characters, the people they're named after. Right. You lose those people, and they're right there at the beginning. You don't have the Russo's brothers in season 4,
right? Because they leave halfway through season 3 to go become very rich,
to become insanely successful with Marvel.
Right. So
you don't have the people that have held the theme for the show for the most part. You still have Tristram. He does, and I think he directs most of these episodes.
He directs most of like the next couple seasons.
Yes, he does.
If memory serves, he becomes like the new Russo brothers.
He's the new Russo. Yes, all by himself. He's 2 brothers. Yeah.
Exactly.
And you have Andy Barbara, who's been there since season 2, and you have Megan Gantz, who's been there since season 2. And Megan was going to leave anyway. And then Dan leaves, and then Megan has, what do we do? Because they're not just getting offered, come back and write for the show you've been writing for. They get offered higher up positions. So both of them, and I think some others, get offered higher positions, which means from here on out, when you go to apply for someplace, you're not just a writer, you're not just an executive producer, you're a producer. So you're helping run a show. Even if it goes badly,
right?
You get a title that you get to put on your resume going forward that people will recognize,
and a pay raise. I have to imagine.
I would assume. And Megan and Andy go between the seasons and go, okay, we can either leave, or we can do this together and do the best we can for the fans. Right. They have a sit-down meal, have a conversation, and go, what do we do? And the answer is, we do the best we can for the fans.
Yeah.
God love them.
God love and respect it. And they've both continued to like be, successful after this, because Andy's written for and run any number of programs.
He was on Last Man on Earth for the first, I think, 2 or 3 years. His show right now is Bless the Hearts. It's off right now. He's had a good career since then. And
then Megan has,
and Megan's just been meteoric. I mean,
she just runs the Rob McElhaney verse now. Between
she wrote
Sunny
for Modern Family as well. I mean,
right.
And I think that's the only episodes of that show I've ever watched were the ones that Megan wrote. Andy wrote for Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yeah, he was there for a year, and then they moved. They changed networks, and they had a different structure, so he didn't stay there. But I mean, they've continued to be productive, and they're really good at what they do, and they're really funny writers. I thought about this a lot when we talked about doing this, and I kind of come to the conclusion that what this season has is what Elroy Patashnik is singing about in season 6 at the wedding. They don't have a way
that is, I mean, one of the funniest things.
Funniest things I've ever. It's the funniest thing he's ever done.
Oh man, and he does a lot of funny stuff on this show. But
oh no,
God,
he's great. But
damn, that kills me
when he's just walking around and just just keep doing what you're doing. That and you encourage people who are constantly discouraging themselves and goes. And the problem is when you don't keep a lid on it, and that's the answer to the problem with season 4. So the problem with season 4 is you don't have a lid on it. So what happens? You have too much influence from the network. So you have this serialization that you normally wouldn't have. Changnesia is a horrifying thing that should have been killed in 5 minutes.
There are some ideas that I understand what you were going for here. Yes. And then there is Changnesia, which is, it's one of the things that is baked into this season that's just wrong. Like it just doesn't go. It
never sticks the landing. What you needed to do, and look, and by the way, when they're first starting talking about this, they don't have 13. They have 13 with a possibility of 9 more. How do you write that?
Right.
I have no clue. How do you prep a season of that where they want you to serialize? That makes it harder. Oh, absolutely. And then you plan to do all holidays and they push your premiere date for 2 months. Jeez. I mean, there's so much wrong with what happens to them. It takes close to 3 months because I think they don't come out until
they were supposed to be like late 2012, and then they end up coming out early.
Yeah, it's originally October 19th, which is Gillian's birthday, and then later it's it comes out. I think their Halloween episode comes out at Christmas. I think they come in. Yeah, they come back in December.
The Halloween, according to Wikipedia,
it would be correct.
Paranormal Parentage aired on Valentine's Day. The Halloween episode airs on Valentine's Day. Yeah, so that's what we call a no-win scenario. Again, there are ideas here. There are things they latch on to that I think are wrong, but there are other ideas that I'm like, no, you like the conception of a puppet episode is not wrong. The conception of, and that's one of the episodes I like from season 4. I think there are like 5 that I will stand up for and be like, these are good episodes. These are quality community episodes on par with like communication studies from season 1. Like not my favorite episode of all time, but like remarkably solid. We'll watch this at any point and not feel bad, and I don't know, you give me puppets and songs, I'm easy. Then you have ideas that I think are rotten to the core, but
what do you do with Ken Jeong? I mean, you can't get rid of him. You don't want to get rid of him, but the last thing you had him do was nearly kill everybody.
Right. That's what I was talking about. Well, like, how do you recover from season 3, even if you're not Dan? Right. Yeah, or even if you are Dan, I'm sorry.
I think you can bring in Changnesia as a joke and then hit him in the head with a shovel and actually have him forget. And then you have a reason to care for him. He comes in with the plan of being, I'm going to lie about my memory, which is a traditional that's a kind of a trope of television. And then the second episode, somebody brains him with a shovel. Some goofy, make Rube Goldberg system, have him get whacked in the head with a shovel where he actually doesn't remember. And then you've got somebody you can introduce and him being wacky. And you have somebody to kind of work on these. You still get to do that crazy documentary, which is not a bad episode. It's not my top tier, but you've got a way to introduce that where it's not him constantly faking being Kevin the entire time.
Right.
That's my only solution to it is you hit him in the head with a shovel.
I mean, my pitch for it is to just make it's self-contained to the documentary episode. You just like maybe you do the bit at the end of History 101 where it's like he adds the note and then the next episode is the Changnesia documentary. It does not sustain itself over the course of the season. And also this season was like Firefly levels of episodes aired out of order. So Changnesia goes on for so long and payoffs come setups come after payoffs because they just shook and mixed all these episodes around in a kind of random haphazard fashion.
Oh yeah, every couple they back up. So the Germanic invasion is supposed to be second, not the Halloween.
Right. It's just like the character relationships
don't work, don't make sense. Why did you just have a conversation about not going anywhere and the next episode you're sleeping together?
Exactly. Like that. It's just there were so many things that worked against this season.
But that was actually in the proper order, those 2 episodes. That's that's the problem. That's why I say this is about that keeping a lid on an argument is it fits. What's the major problem with Chevy? Chevy needs somebody to look. Chevy says some of his best lines where he's the nicest character in season 4. I suspect that wasn't enough for Chevy.
Mm-hmm.
And his desire to constantly want more is what pushed him to say something he should never said in public and got him kicked out of the show.
Right. That I like from what I remember, I haven't watched this episode in 8 years, but I remember liking the barbershop plot line, subplot, story.
And her story of dance, who rescues this thing?
Exactly.
Yeah. There's this really common thread of Chevy doesn't know what we're doing. Chevy doesn't know what's going on. Chevy doesn't understand how to reach through these rubber walls. He doesn't understand why he's doing this. Because he hasn't seen enough of the show and doesn't care enough about the character or just doesn't understand the idea behind it, whatever the combination of things are. Chevy's unaware of what's going on, but Chevy wants to be treated well and he wants to be important. Well, they do that in season 4 and he torches it.
It was never going to be enough.
It was never,
there was no enough that could fill up that space, because the space is to speak about someone I don't know. The space they're trying to fill is the void at the center of Chevy Chase's soul. And that cannot be filled by any amount of praise. As anyone even who worked with them in 75, they'll tell you the same thing.
Yeah, re-release Fletch, maybe. And if it went really well in movie theaters, he might feel that void that way. But that's it. You've got to go back 20, 40 years to get to that, what he needed. And I think that's what happens to him. So the network says, we want more serialization. We definitely want more of Kim Jong on there, even though they don't have a way to solve that problem and they let this thing run long. They bring in the Darkest Timeline to the finale, which they find out that it's not just going to be a season finale, but a series finale. It changes while they're doing it. And then to say, okay, and write, Dan level episodes. That's a really heavy weight.
Yeah. That's another fundamental error that happens here, is that like the Darkest Timeline should have stayed in season 3. Like that should have been the last time we meaningfully talked about the Darkest Timeline. Inspector Spacetime should have stayed there, because that was their big thing when they went to Comic-Con 2013 or whatever. And I guess it would have been 2012. And it's David Garascio and Moses Port. They come out as the new showrunners. And the first thing they're like, okay, guys, Inspector Spacetime convention. And it's like, okay, I get what we're going for here, because that sounds like, hey, we're paying attention. We hear what fans like, but it's also a problem with Inspector Spacetime as a concept within Community, is that it never expands beyond a Doctor Who reference. Like it never becomes anything.
It's never meant to be more than that. It's meant to be a thing you joke about. It's meant to be like, he gets his positrons changed and he becomes kind of rapey. You're just trying to make jokes off of it. It's there for that purpose, for Troy and Abed to have consistent clothing for certain gags. That's it.
Yeah. And so like, again, at a base level, like I do understand why you would, if you're the new showrunners of Community, come in and think that is a good concept for what you're doing. No. But it's a misunderstanding of what that thing is within the show that you are now in charge of. But again, I think Grasco and Port are not bad writers. Like
no. Andy has said repeatedly since that season was over, and remember, Andy's there in season 5, so he's really just him and a handful of people are there through 5. So he's in 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you're in 4 and 5. That's a rare group.
Yeah.
Andy says the new showrunners were actually trying to pull them back more often than not from going into the direction they went.
Yes.
So he's made the argument like, stop. We don't need to blame them, because blame us, because we had stuff we've been talking about in the writer's room for years. The convention was something they talked about doing for years.
Yeah.
The Halloween Scooby-Doo that we get to watch today is something they've been talking about for years. So here's their opportunity where they get to do it. And ultimately it's just, there's just parts of it that are sloppy. And it's not sloppy because the people are doing a bad job, is they got so much pressure on them to do it. It's just brutal for them. It's too hard to pull off with the time frame they've got, the resources they've got. You're writing a show with a character that you basically have to kick off the set for the last 5 episodes.
I think he's straight up not in 2 full episodes, right?
Yeah, but he's in the finale. There's no shot of him with another human being.
Exactly. The story, is my understanding, is that Chevy Chase says a racial epithet in front of Yvette Nicole Brown and Donald Glover, and that is Chevy Chase's last day working. That's his
last day working on the show. But
except for I guess that cameo in season 5.
But he is filmed separately several times, and so he's not in. He's not in Intro to Knots because it happened between then and there. So he's not in Phelps outside of his voiceovers there in Phelps.
He's only
so he's physically not there.
And then he's
not in Knots.
And then he's not in Heroic Origins. They have
is he in Human Anatomy with Jim Rash? Do you remember him in that one?
Oh, I haven't watched that one in
it's been a while, but it's a really good episode. It's one of the better episodes from it. But I'm excited. And he's only in the finale by himself.
Yeah. So maybe it is like a full 5.
Yeah, he's out 5 episodes. So you have this like the introduction to Knots. That's not supposed to be Chang. That's supposed to be Pierce. And they had to rewrite it for Chang. And oddly enough, it worked really well. Yeah. Comparatively.
I think they've overcomplicated the matter of subbing in Chang for Pierce several times over the course of the show.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you listened to the show, so you would have heard that I'm like, maybe Chevy's last episode should have been the season 2 paintball finale. That's a pretty good out for that character.
That would have been great.
And he gets to go out on top, and you're just left with the devastation, and then you just sit Chang in the chair.
Just dropping.
I've never understood why they felt that was so difficult.
Because I think it's because they actually can't get rid of Chevy. I think that's part of it.
Which is weird of Chevy because he doesn't seem to want to be there. I guess, everybody likes getting paid.
No, well, they say there's 3 separate Chevy stand-ins in History 101.
Wow.
There's 3 separate ones for it to all work. So they're that early group shot where Jeff is trying to tell them that he took summer classes, so all he's got left is this history class. That group shot, you start seeing the camera change angles to show the different people talking. You notice that Chevy's no longer standing behind them because Chevy's not there.
Wow.
That the whole thing about counting the balls is something they did at the end because they didn't keep up with, we didn't show Jeff's progress of collecting these balls. So that whole bit is for them showing collection of these things.
Wow.
And there's just a lot of they just got caught in a time crunch, which they were used to with Dan, but Dan's voice helped corral it a little. And what happened is Andy's first time really doing the same things happened on History 101, where he has to go through and just cut pages of dialogue.
Yeah.
That used to be what Dan did. And so Andy's got to learn that on the fly. Learning on the fly is really hard.
Yes. Notoriously so.
Yes. And so you have this episode that comes out. And look, every season opener is heavy. Pilots are, somewhat unique, but you go back and look, what do you have to do in anthropology? Well, you have to fix the group because you just
have to recover from member. Pascal's triangle revisit.
Yeah.
Right?
You have to recover from Pascal. At the end of season 2, you have to, arguably the easiest fix is you have to accept Chevy and get them into a new class. That's honestly biology 101's got the easiest move.
Right.
Repilot has to do what? Completely forget season 4.
Yeah. has
from
to
Dan's
like
perspective.
from Dan's perspective,
And then-
and I have opinions about
Yeah.
how he's spoken out about season 4, but I'm sure that will come up.
I did too.
proper.
I did too. And season
then-
6 is what you have to make adjustments, because now for some reason they think we paid attention to the fact that granted we paid attention to every little detail,
but
but
that
now the
there's a
cafeteria
pillar.
has columns, and we're going to explain that by having the roof collapse from frisbees.
Right. And like you have to explain
Intro-
away 2 cast members, intro a new cast member, intro what I think is a whole new like visual language for the show. Like
Yeah.
that Yahoo season looks so different. And I don't think it's different in a bad way, but looks
No.
so different from the show that had previously existed. And part of that is budgetary and that you're
Oh,
shooting
yeah,
in a
yeah.
basement.
They're shooting in a basement, they're broke, and they're introducing a new character.
Right.
And they need, thankfully it's Paget Brewster, who is incredible.
the humble outsider that came in and nailed it,
Absolutely came in and nailed it. And then in the very next episode, they have to introduce Elroy Patashnik. I'm glad both of them are there. They added to the show. If they had 22 episodes, I think they could have killed exploring those 2 characters more. But what did they have? They have 13.
Yeah.
Introduce, go.
Yep.
Very little, there's not enough Elroy. I mean, when we get Elroy, particularly at the wedding, good Lord, that's some of the funniest things they've ever done. But him with the Wi-Fi and the bird, it doesn't work as well. Because
I agree with
you
that.
don't know
I
him as
that
well.
one. But I do know
I like the episode, but no, it doesn't work as well because we don't know him.
No, agreed. I think his best is when they don't plotline him, when he is just like his elements in Basic Crisis Room Decorum are
So good.
some of the highlights of that episode.
So
and
good.
then we mentioned the wedding episode. They kind of write him out very early of the finale, which
He had to actually leave, so he's
Right.
not in the finale because he has somewhere he has to go. I mean, he talked about that.
Keith had somewhere he had to be.
Yeah, well, no, he had another things. I think it's not Greenleaf, but it's something close. I mean, he had another thing come up, so
Exactly. So
they
he
had
to
it.
go.
They had him in that room to film all those shots that he's in, and that's all they had him for.
Yeah, and I think they use it as a good thematic idea for the rest of that great series finale, right?
Oh.
Like him leaving sets the stakes of what we're looking at here.
Yes, no,
And-
they solved a problem, and they can do that because they've got people experienced with that habit. They've got Dan, they've got McKenna, people who've run a show for several years at this particular show, so they know how to weave in. Oh, we've got it literally for one day. We have to nail this part, so they did. And he was. By the way, if you didn't get an opportunity, when the show was airing on Yahoo, every Tuesday he would get on Twitter and answer 10 questions minimum.
Oh, that's great.
And talk with the fans. And he was great, friendly. If you ever look at my personal account, which is irrelevant for everything related to Community, but if you look at my personal account header, it's me print screening the tweets between us from one day where I said, "Hey, I'm going to tell people that me and Keith David are close personal friends based on the tweets we've had today." And he responded, "Make sure to print this one, buddy." And so it's visible in the header.
I love Keith David. I've never heard anyone who does know him or doesn't know him say a bad word about him. I've never heard him. He's just one of those guys. He kills everything. Never seen him.
Kills everything. Gorgeous voice.
Oh, it's a gift.
It's
truly.
part of the reason. Play Halo 3 just to listen to him talk as Arbiter.
Exactly. Play the Mass Effect video game franchise. He's in he's in 3 of those.
Yeah,
if
we're
y'all
so
have taken
far off your
nothing
course.
else away from the last 50 some odd minutes,
Yeah.
love Keith David.
Yeah, we spent 50 minutes just saying how great Keith David is. We're just going to agree the entire time.
I'll have you back sometime in season 6 so we can just talk about
how
Keith.
awesome Keith David is.
Yeah.
I listened to the commentary for 101 related to 101, and what you hear is Andy apologizing because it had already aired and people were talking about it, and they got more negative replies than they really wanted. Abed TV was always meant to be a joke, that because they wanted people to hear that laugh track, and they thought it was funny. But the problem structurally is it's a joke on the audience, not a joke with the audience.
Yeah,
and that's why it didn't work.
Yeah, and I also think, I get why, like, it's you're writing this in 2012. It's the Catching Fire is destroying the box office. I get why the studio would ask you to do a Hunger Games riff, but it's too topical. Like, Community was never parodying the big movie. Like in season 6, they do a whole episode parody of The Sting.
Yeah, from the 70s.
From the like the best picture winner of like 72 or whatever not 72, that was The Godfather, but you know what I mean. It feels too like
they do My Dinner with Andre for crying out loud, and every one of us had to Google it to find out what it was. We didn't know what that was. Wait, you're a film guy. Did you know that movie before you saw that episode?
No, I did not.
Yeah.
I only saw it because of that episode.
Oh yeah, I've seen it since, and I'm glad that the choices.
Not for me,
but no, I just didn't enjoy that at all.
Not for me. I like Wallace Shawn. I think he's a pretty cool guy.
Love that. The actors are great in it. It's just,
but that's all it is.
It just reminds me of most 70s movies where the goal was never about making money at the box office.
Yeah,
where it's about making it. This is the concept of art, and the more miserable it is, kind of better. It's that. What was it? There's that movie, Defending Your Life. Do you remember the movie Defending Your Life? It's
the Albert Brooks movie.
Yeah, in Defending Your Life, they're sitting in the restaurant, and the guy's sitting there eating something that looks like it is black crude oil over spaghetti noodles.
You wouldn't like it.
Yeah, you wouldn't like
Rip. It's Rip Torn.
Yeah. And Rip's saying, you have to have a really high intelligence to be able to eat this and enjoy it, because if you're dumb or don't know it, it tastes like shit. That's the language he uses. And they're like, well, why are you eating it? He goes, because I can eat it and enjoy it because I spent so much. And that reminds me of all the 70s movies. They're like serving this plate of oil covered spaghetti and saying only the really smart people will enjoy it. And then in the middle of it, they do Star Wars. That's why it takes off, because there's so many unenjoyable movies where the people are miserable the entire time. And then you're like,
Hal Ashby's Shampoo. Yeah.
I mean, Marathon Man is a great movie from the 70s, but Midnight Cowboy, is it something you really can enjoy, or does it feel like pain?
Right. Is Panic in Needle Park like a movie you're gonna fucking sit down, crack open a cold one?
No. It's right. and that reminds me of the joke in History 101 about having the background Abed TV being a multicam sitcom.
Yeah.
It doesn't work, and it didn't work because we weren't in on the joke. We were out of the joke. The joke was about our expectations, and they didn't. That was a bad starting point, but all of the series openers, season openers, have a lot to do. And so when you try to do basically that, they don't have a lid on it still. I'm sticking to that structure. You can't do that. You have to build trust. That's their most important thing, that, hey, we got this show. You got us. Because if they start with the Halloween episode, we're good.
Right.
It would have completely reframed how you see the rest of the season. That it's like every first taste of something. The moment you get that first taste, if it's good, you can keep going. If it's something that makes you question your choices, like that very last line from History 101 is Shirley going, "Oh Lord, no!" That was supposed to be a catchphrase line you heard multiple times. They had to cut it for time.
So it just is this thing.
You only hear it one time. You're going,
it's so
is this?
Weird.
Yeah, it's like, this is out of place. This doesn't work. Why are you doing this? Why would you have this happen? And the reason you don't know is because they cut, as usual, they've cut all the Shirley stuff, which they did a lot of.
Yeah.
So it's the problem with History 101 is it's incomplete.
Right.
And I think if they could go back and redo it, they go, okay, we'd strip out this. It'd be less time with this.
Well, sure.
Yeah, but what are you having to do? You have to set up Annie as somebody who doesn't want to be in hospital administration. You have to set up the graduation. You have to figure out how to get Ken Jeong back on the screen without it being something. Arguably, them all yelling around the table is the only good part of that part of bringing Ken back in. Mm-hmm. you have to reset where the dean is, because clearly the air conditioning repair is no longer, stranglehold on his finances because he
Right.
put together entire Hunger Games thing.
But I mean, MVP of the episode by far is Jim Rash.
Jim Rash, because he pulls that off, and it's weird.
Yeah, so weird. I love him.
It's so weird. How do you have these two really healthy unicorn people standing beside you the entire time?
Because John Goodman doesn't control your finances.
Because of John Goodman, yeah. And this is the first thing you go by, and then you have a breakaway dress. You've been wearing two dresses this entire time, so you have a breakaway one just for this dance you might get to do with Jeffrey.
Oh,
I mean, it's that they try to pack so much into it. I understand that. Look, I had never done any of these things. They're trying to put stuff in there to make sure the fans get it and enjoy the joke. And the problem is they put too much in it.
yeah.
That's it. There's too much in it.
They unfortunately, it feels like they maybe tried a little too hard. And that sounds like a weird critique.
Well, think about this. How many times in an episode prior to season 4 did they reference a running joke from the previous episode? So do you have in a single episode 1 through 3 where somebody does the much, where somebody does let him finish, where they do all the that little conversational riff stuff they did regularly? Do they have any episode that does it twice in the same episode?
Me, I haven't run that's a stopwatch, but right.
I don't have a count on it, but that's, you end up getting in every scene they're doing a bit from a previous episode.
Yeah, and it just feels like, see, look,
we're still here.
We know.
And that's not knowing that we trust them on that.
Mm-hmm.
And so they do the switcheroo with Abed TV, and then they overplay the references.
Yeah.
And that's what happens to the History 101. To me, that's the big problem with History 101 is they didn't understand us. We didn't understand what they're going to do. They had to build trust, and they went for the joke. I completely understand it. You write jokes, you write sitcoms, but they went for the joke and they overlaid it too many times.
Yeah.
I mean, like when Troy and Britta come back from the wishing well. The wishing well worked fine. They come back and they're soaking wet, and Troy looks at Jeff and goes, "Don't ask," and Jeff looks like, "Don't tell." That joke worked.
Yeah.
Classic. That joke worked really well. That was perfectly timed. It laid out well. It hit all the corners.
Yeah.
It did everything. But they have a lot of other ones where they're not doing the new. Because I mean, the Community's inventive, damn it.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to do the new. Where they did the new, it was interesting. Like the Greendale Babies bit was actually okay. I like the Greendale Babies bit. It's the Abed TV in the middle that caused the problem.
Making that switch near in like the third act, you either needed to have done another level previously or not do the subsequent. It's just the exact wrong amount of that. You either need to do like full Inception 4 layers or just do like the one layer. And let us not forget that Jeff punches Leonard right in the face. And it looks like he fucking knocks him out cold. He's just standing there sweating. It's upsetting. Leonard is an old man.
But he's behaving. What's the problem with the inherent idea of new Jeff is that we don't want new Jeff. We want Jeff.
Yeah, I kind of like Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff
watching
was
the show about Jeff for a while.
The guy at the top of the list of actors for this episode in the series. I want that guy. Don't playing with the idea of being new the whole time took it away from us.
Yeah,
I mean the hipster and everything they had with the Abed TV part that really worked was the new Pierce. That was so perfect.
I love Fred Willard. Always
Fred Willard was
in everything.
The great and late Fred Willard was fabulous. And they even used him correctly for the way Abed saw Pierce.
Yeah,
so,
I almost wish they'd given him. I mean, maybe it's just because it's Fred. I just wish they would have maybe given him even more to do. Like if Abed TV had been focused on like new Pierce, I don't know. Man, I'm
that would have worked better.
Writing an 8-year-old episode of television, so that doesn't seem right fair.
No. But have we bagged on? I'm sorry. Have we discussed 101 enough that we can now talk about Paranormal Parentage? or do you feel like we?
Sure. I think we've kind of conclusively talked about everything.
Okay.
I feel like we've covered a lot of good territory here, and I thank you for coming on and stopping by. Finally, we
for an hour. I'm
made
sorry.
it happen. Oh, it's okay. It'll be
Cut
but
it
it's a
up.
very easy edit. Like nothing's coming out. It's this flowed. It was smooth. So that'll be a-okay. Communies is the Twitter account. That's 2 S's.
2 S's. That is named. Yvette named us. That's from her.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. When in 2013, when we didn't know what was going to happen next,
she christened that ship. Bash the champagne bottle.
Yeah,
on
the
vessel.
beginning of this count, and we were 5,000 followers at the 10th anniversary, and we're around 15,000 now. I mean, it's just the fandom has been great.
It's the place to be.
It's the luckiest thing I do.
Absolutely. No, it's been a blessing the last what has it been, 10 months now? It's been a
when we get to
blessing.
April, it'll be on Netflix for a year, and it's just really exploded since then. I mean, we got to talk to McKenna, and we get to talk to a bunch of people that are actually part of the show. Joel, I don't think we talked to Joel. Joel just kind of rolled us and kept talking, and that was perfectly fine.
That's Joel.
Yes, Joel.
That's what you get.
As a group, we got to talk to Megan. We've gotten to talk to Andy. Doing that bit with Andy, that was a lot of fun. I mean, this has been, the pandemic's bad. Don't let me, suggest anything else. But from a fan standpoint, this is the best it's been since the show was on the air. Yeah. This is it. This is the pinnacle. There's more people talking about it to some degree now than it has been in the past, and I can't express enough how much when Mike and I talk, we're just always constantly going, can you believe how many people are talking about the show? Because this wasn't happening when he and I were just, people on Twitter talking about it when it was going on. Mm-hmm. So this has been a absolute blessing, and that includes the 15 different podcasts about Community.
God bless them. Everyone can choose their own. There's enough flavors that you can pick your favorite.
Oh, I'm not going to be happy till we get to Baskin Robin level of Community podcast. then everybody can have their version.
Absolutely correct. So this has been tremendous fun. I am going to go make dinner. But Matt, it was very lovely to have you on. This was truly, I really enjoyed
Thanks,
talking
man.
with you about this.
I could really, particularly with you, I do enjoy talking to you about it, because you've got not only do you have a wealth of knowledge about the show, you have a wealth of knowledge about how these things work, and you have a very, I don't want to say peculiar, I want to say you have a way of putting things together I don't always do. And I find that having somebody who thinks about the show lovingly and thinks about its purpose and what it can accomplish, I really enjoyed that. And you do that a lot. And that's I enjoy talking to you. I enjoy listening to you on the podcast. Yours is 3 people talking. I can't listen to you at extra speed. That just doesn't work. So every time you've got the whole group, I have to slow down and listen to everything.
Yeah. Oh, and the one I'm about to release, the 4th Witcher episode. It's you're not ready.
This has been a Talkback Podcast.
That was quite a show. Very entertaining.
Please tell your friends about this show.
Boopy doopy doop boop sex.
Larry, I'm on DuckTales.